Welcome to a special edition of Ankle Sore. Today we're in the company of AFL royalty, a true legend of his craft and our inspiration for the name of our YouTube channel. This man accumulated some incredible stats in his playing and coaching career. 202 games, 50 goals with the Bombers. And as an Essendon player, he won 3 premierships, 84, 85 and 93 as captain. He was a 3-time Knight Premiership player, 84, 90 and 93, as well as captain in 93. And that's just his playing career. He went on to coach Geelong to 2 flags, 2007 and 2009, also coaching 2 Knight Premierships for the Cats in 2006 and 2009, thus making him a 6-day and 6 nighttime premiership player coach in total. I'm out of breath, so without further ado, it's our massive honour to welcome Mark Bomber Thompson.
Hey guys, how are you?
Fantastic.
I just found out about this podcast. A friend told me that there was a podcast out there called Ankle Sore, and I thought, well, geez, it's got to be about me.
Definitely.
Well, yeah.
Do you like the picture? You look about 10 in the picture that we put up.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Picked a good one.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it? But
God.
So,
yeah, so well done on that. I reckon it's good. It's
Thank
a bit
you.
Of,
Oh, we're just stoked to have you on, aren't we, boys? Let's be honest.
absolutely, absolutely.
going okay?
Yeah, we're going okay. Actually, it's funny you should mention we're stoked to have you on because in our very first
Yes.
podcast, I just bluntly said, Bomber,
Should
we'd
get
love to
him
have on our 50th
I
show.
see it,
And it's
I see
about our 62nd show now. So
Yeah.
we're pretty close without even knowing. We just shot in the dark sort of thing, you know?
Yeah,
I seen that one today. I thought I'd better get to know you guys.
Oh, there you go. So,
That's why I knew
so yeah.
Carlton.
we're just three idiots.
Yeah, three Muppets trying to do a podcast. This is 10 years in the making, by the way.
We've been going on about it.
10
and on
years
about
ago,
it
we've
and
been
never
trying to
did
do it, and yeah,
It was because of the name. We didn't have a name, so that's why we were
Oh, I just said one day, I said to him one day, because I lose my mind over that, as you know, I said, ankle sore, and we're just going, yep, that's it, done.
That's it.
Done.
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 Very good.
So, why come in and speak to 3 amateur YouTubers? Like, how did it come about? How were you told about
the
it?
show's named after me. So
That's
I was like,
right.
Yeah, no, I think
So you did a bit
it's
of-
quite a sense. It's good that you've done it, and makes a little bit of sense because coaches, like for years, have been telling lies to the media about injuries. and that day, I remember. I forgot to find out from the media guy what injury they were going to say that this guy had. You know, I think it was Bell Chambers. And so I got to it, and they said, "What's wrong with him?" And I said, "He's sore." You know, because that's general soreness was a good way to sort of say nothing. You know?
Exactly.
Get out of it.
And then I thought, "Am I saying the right thing here or not?" Because I just wanted to tell the truth most of that year to the media, and I thought I'm lying. I said, "But well, I'll see how I go." Yeah.
Ankle. What is it? Ankle, sore ankle. Ankle, sore.
Who would have thought 701 subscribers later on YouTube there'd be
I know.
Ankle Sore podcast?
And the thing was, I had a few other ones just like taught, because let's
Go
be
on,
honest,
fire
boys,
'em away,
we
fire 'em away.
loved the press conferences. What about the one with Brad Ottens? What happened there when all of you were you angry or what was the go? Were they just...
I thought there was far worse players last week than Brad Ottens playing the game. And for some silly reason, you people want to assassinate him, and it's just rubbish. You people.
Be happy, Mark, that you pumped with
All of you. All of you. It's just rubbish. Leave him alone.
on him every
Were they
week.
picking on him or?
Oh, they
Yeah.
were picking on him big time. Yeah,
Yeah.
they just thought he was no good. And Richmond sort of got rid of him.
Yeah.
And like, he's a number 1 draft pick. I went and watched him play as a junior when I was working, I think, at Essendon, in the reserves there. They sent us over to look at some players sometimes for the draft, and there was no disagreement. He was number 1. Like, he was a star.
Yeah.
And he went to Richmond, obviously, and it just didn't suit. You know, he didn't. He probably played better than what a lot of people thought, but people probably want him to be the match winner, the superstar. Knowing his personality, he's never going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't want to be a superstar. He wants to just be a good player,
Yeah.
team player, and play his role. So when we had to get him, it was a big controversy because we gave a fair bit up for him, 2 first-round picks basically, and Richmond got them, and I don't know who they picked with them, but probably no good anyway.
They made a few errors back in those days, didn't they, Richmond?
Brad ended up being a super player, but
And playing the premiership.
yeah, but to be
Took
honest, like
unbelievable.
when he first got to the club, he was training with us, and we probably did different training to most other clubs, and he couldn't get a touch. He could not touch the ball.
Jeez.
The only time he could touch it in the ruck, you know? Like, he'd get his hands on it.
obviously,
Yeah.
And the ball hit the ground, he wouldn't know what to do, where to run. And I'm thinking, gee, it's not like this is a bit of a shock. You know?
What have we traded in?
And, what are we trading for? And he said, I just don't know what I'm doing. I said, well, that's good because, like, you know, we do train differently. We train like with what happens in the game. So if you don't know how to do it at training, it means you're probably doing the wrong thing in a game. So as soon as you master it up, you know, you're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. And we just taught him, you know. Like we actually just retrained him, I think.
Yeah, reprogrammed
Yeah,
him.
reprogrammed him, yeah.
And then he falls on a garden stake.
Yeah, that's right. A big clumsy man, mate. You know what he does now for a living?
No, what's
What
his
does he
name?
do?
Oh, no, not for a living. It just is probably
Hobby?
hobby.
Yeah.
He's got a farm down near Geelong, and he's got all these animals, and they all walk through the house. They all follow him around the house like his dad.
Dr.
Emus
Doolittle.
and-
Dr.
All
Doolittle.
these pets, his ducks and chooks and hens and dogs and
Jeremy
cats.
Cameron's a bit like that, isn't he? He's got a farm and...
Yeah, he does, yeah. He's got cows.
He's,
So,
he's doing the same thing as I'm doing. He's making timber out of recycled wood. So
Right, eh?
So that was
and that's his job, you know. He's
good on him.
He's happy. Having got his peace in the world. His wife, I think, still makes him breakfast in bed every day.
oh god.
Lucky.
He got a good
country.
wife.
Yeah, he's done well.
What there was the other one? What about Triple M?
Triple M. Yeah.
What happened there?
I was just bored, I think. I was just waiting for him to start, you know. Sometimes you can get in there and they're not ready for you, or they're waiting for one last commentator to turn up, or the cameras to turn up, and I'm sitting there and I'm just, all I could see is 3M, you know. It's pretty good.
It's good advertising.
Oh, that is
so-
magnificent. Absolutely. And then there was
For years you heard it on radio, like
Yeah.
Triple M.
Yeah,
All the different ways they say it.
that was a
you know, like-
catchphrase, yeah.
and I-
Whistling's the same,
yeah,
probably.
the other one, whistling. Were you just bored when you were
Bored
whistling?
again?
Yeah, bored, yeah.
Bored.
Yeah.
Together, and today they got 4 goals up, and then Joe gives away a 50-metre penalty, waste of goal. Dempsey, handballs into nowhere. Just a little.
And then we spoke about the spilt the drink on Hurd. What happened there?
Have no defensive structure. Look at James Hurd.
Have a look at this. The Coke bottle in the back. It exploded. That's what assistant coach is doing. Bomber,
Thompson.
what are you doing opening a shaken up bottle of Coke in the back of my ear while Paddy's trying to kick a goal?
Oh, that was a good big one. That
Did you mean it?
No.
He's not going to.
We got
Oh, I don't know. I mean...
We got up to MCG, and there's always a fridge full of drinks.
Always,
right?
yep,
Or an ice
yep.
pack, esky with ice in it, and it's cold drinks.
Yep.
We got up there this day, and it was like, they were warm. They'd just been put in the fridge, you know. I said, gee, rubbish, first half. So I put some in the freezer, right? After half time, in the video, I got the cold cans coming, And I got one, and I was I'm going to show you up, I'm going to get the cold can, and bang, went off. And it shot straight in the back of his head, And I thought, shit, what have I done?
And what do you say to you?
They just turned around and he didn't know what he'd seen me, and he didn't say much at all. But I reckon if it had been like the bloke doing the
Someone younger or
fitness
something?
guy doing the
have lost
analytical
his
stuff
mind.
in the box, he would have got the luck.
Guess to eat. What about eating in the box? Were you just bored again?
Oh, I tell you what, I haven't seen that before. I haven't seen a coach so relaxed he can just munch on a sandwich during the course of a quarter.
Eating a salad roll, or were you just hungry? So it didn't matter that it was halfway through the third
Yeah, but
quarter,
we've
you
never
were
seen
going up.
anyone eat
No,
those.
it was 70 points up. It was only like 70
didn't
points up
matter.
at half time against West Coast. We weren't going to lose.
Salad roll. Is that all? Yeah,
There's a time difference, don't you?
yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah, 2. Yeah,
The match started at 8 o'clock, so that's 10 o'clock start.
yeah, true.
Yeah,
So
7,
it's bedtime nearly.
It was bedtime. We had no dinner.
I remember we saw that we lost.
Yeah, the commentators were just like, yeah.
Said, in all my time,
I've never seen that.
Any coach ever eat a salad roll while the game's on.
The Cats were going all right.
They were going all right.
So,
I think even Mooney said to me after it, he said, I took that mark, Gazza kicked it to me and looked up the scoreboard to see myself, to see how I went, to see how I was looking. He said, all I seen was you munching on a roll. What the hell's Bomber doing?
that was brilliant.
Absolutely superb.
I didn't even think the camera would be on
It's
me.
fair to say your press conferences are the best going around.
By far.
Yeah.
By far.
People waited for what you said. We certainly waited
We
for your
did.
press conference.
Oh, we used to lose our minds.
brilliant.
I
No,
did get told that the ratings went up.
There you
Well,
go.
They stayed on, They didn't go on. They didn't
that
switch
makes
off at the
sense.
end of the match.
I
They
believe
waited
that.
for the
Waited for yours.
And then you're on 360 with Robbo and Jared.
Oh, yeah.
they were interviewing you every week. That was or every couple of weeks. That was pretty good. How'd that come about? Were you coaching then? I think it was after you stopped coaching at Essendon.
No,
Might have been
before. No,
Oh, it was before.
it
Was
was
it?
right
Okay.
through the whole supplement program.
Okay.
But no, I did it when I became assistant coach there when I left Geelong.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
I think Essendon had a hand in it. They always trying to promote the club and all that
Yeah,
sort of
fair
stuff.
enough.
So they got me on there, and I didn't find it too bad until the supplement stuff. Then,
Yeah,
what do I do here? Do I quit or do I?
Yeah.
Or do I keep going? I said probably best to keep going, because you can't look like a quitter.
Yeah, true. That's true. That's true. No, that was.
And I
good
did. I
feeling,
hit
gotta
it was some tense nights there.
I can imagine because Robbo doesn't hold back, does he?
No, they don't. No, and nor should he. you
Yeah,
know?
it's their job, I guess,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
their job. So we did what we did, and there was a set of events that happened, and they're all completely wrong in my eyes. And I still look at it as being wrong, but you got to forgive, don't you, and move on.
Absolutely.
Done now.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
it was hard. It was hard answering those questions sometimes because
I can imagine.
like a lot of stuff was all in confidentiality. So we had really the whole thing should have just been done in behind doors and not even told until they thought that we had a case to answer. But the whole thing was public.
But as you know, in the footy world, someone gets a hold of a story or an inkling,
And they'll make it into
they say that, but
broth.
They say that, but these people are actively in the sporting community all over the place. We don't have to hear them that often, do we?
No, that's right. 100%.
Which means there's probably been a lot of things
that's
they've
true, of
investigated
course.
they haven't actually charged people with, and
well, AFL being the
haven't heard
biggest
about
sport,
it. Yeah,
that's probably why they made the
well,
big
we
deal about it.
contributed to it, didn't we? Because we got out there and said, we're going to fix up the sport, clean it all up.
Yeah,
They'd already made up their minds, I think.
Yeah, that's right. That's the thing.
Put a lot of pressure on clubs. And players.
absolutely.
And all those drugs that we took, they were going to be so dangerous for health,
Like the
Is anyone
COVID
healthy?
vaccine.
Is everyone
like the COVID vaccine,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Depends on which way you want to spin the story.
Yeah, that's true.
So you grew up in Airport West.
Yeah, I was interested in knowing that.
You guys from Airport West?
Two of us, Airport West, one
Avondale
Avondale
Heights.
Heights. So close enough. But tell us your story about Airport West and how you made it to Essendon.
In the pre-draft days.
Pre-draft, it was like the under-19s back then. And I just played at Airport West, and I was an average footballer. I was okay until probably that last couple of years, where the under-17 years, when I got a really good coach. And when you have a good coach and you listen to him and you try and please him. So you try your hardest and you try and do what he's telling you to do. And we ended up winning a premiership. And it was fantastic fun, and I don't think it really matters where you win a premiership, but
They're hard to win.
They're hard to win, and when you win them, you never forget them. You never forget them. And so we had a good year, won a premiership. I won the best and fairest in the comp.
So that was 19. No, you debuted in 83, so I'm thinking it's 1982. You were Essendon under 19s.
Yeah, 82, 81 maybe.
So 81 Airport West.
Yep. And there was 5 of us went down from our club to the under 19s training.
Yep.
And I think there was 3 of us that made it through to the squad of under 19s. I played about 3 matches there. Then I got taken up to the reserves. I played 14 reserves games that year. Then I played another 11 reserves games the following year. Then I sort of made it into the senior squad. But
so you debuted round 1, 1983 against
right, yeah.
Essendon against Sydney at the SCG.
Paul Weston never got a clearance from wherever he was, from Norwood.
Paul Weston.
Yeah.
So you were the late inclusion.
I was a late inclusion
Yes,
because I never got the
because we watched
the commentary.
Yeah, we watched the commentary.
How about that?
That's
completely changed.
Sunday morning, we get the clearance for round 1.
that's like local footy.
Well,
It is like local.
Yeah.
we actually watched.
We watched your game.
And the comments, Peter Landy goes, what did he say?
Who's this 26?
So,
Because
they didn't know. Even in the record.
nothing was said.
I wonder whether whether the interchange man was there to take the figures down with the players going off the field.
I think that could be the problem, because he's gone over to Kevin Sheedy now to confer with him, and well, drama already.
So the ball got bounced and you came off. You were playing.
He was playing in the middle.
In the middle. You started in the middle.
Really?
Yep.
And you got an early possession, they didn't call it. And then the ball went out to the wing.
Know my name.
Yeah.
I said, who's this 26?
And
Lou
it
Richards
wasn't
goes,
too,
who's
he
that?
took a
Pete?
mark and Lou Richards said Roger Merritt.
Waiting now for the freak or the pass coming over there to Vanderhaar. And there's a mark taken there by Essendon's Merritt. Ball kicked up there. That was Thompson, I should say, and we see a good mark taken once again in defence for the Swans.
Yeah, he called you Roger Merritt.
I don't look like Roger
Merritt. Nothing like it.
chimed in and said, no, that's Mark Thompson's a late inclusion.
Correct.
And
That's
then
right, yeah.
Lou Richard said,
That's
is
right.
that Michael Thompson? He goes, no,
No, it's
Mark Thompson.
Yeah.
Corbett, number 24. First quarter from the Sydney Cricket Ground as umpire Kevin Smith comes in to put the ball down. Round. Loses it to Madden. A new look, Justin Madden, this year without the beard. Going through his carrot, picked up by Hawker. Wide towards centre wing. Browning underneath the ball. And a nice mark taken for the Swans out there by Ackerley, one of their most consistent players last year. Off he goes. Swans kicking towards the Randwick end in this quarter. Oh, Vernon got a very solid knock. No free kick. Picked up and driven forward for Essendon. Into their left forward pocket. West. Chance for Watson. Umpire this time has found a free kick. It was number 26 for Essendon.
Well, I'm trying to locate him because he wasn't named in the 21 players or 25 players that were on the list, and he's certainly not on the in the record. So we'll have to check on that.
It's Mark Thompson.
New number. He was 34, Bob, wasn't he?
That's Mick Thompson.
So it's Mark Thompson, number 26.
First score of the match coming up at the minute-and-a-half mark of the first term.
No.
So, 14 seasons from 1983 to 1996. You played in 17 finals and 9 final series.
It's incredible.
Essendon played in 21 finals and 10 final series in that time. So obviously 83, you played a couple of games and missed in the 83.
Yeah.
So
Played reserves in the grand final.
played in the reserves premiership,
Yeah,
beat
premiership,
Collingwood
yeah.
in the reserves.
That's it, yeah.
Trouble to Shaw. Back towards the wing. No mark taken. O'Brien waiting at the back.
Well done.
He's got support too in the form of Thompson, who's able to pick it up and float it towards the half-forward line.
So
You got a good memory.
Well, they've done their homework too.
Oh, yeah.
So your thoughts on, like, you're just a regular finals campaigner.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, well, that's why I play. You know, you play, you try and win, and you try and help your team. And yeah, I'm a big believer. That's why I coach. Like, I got brought up in that environment. Sheedy was a very, very much team player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, team. You sacrifice yourself. If your coach asks you to do something, you do it. You know, even if it entails you not getting the ball or whatever. Just that's why I was brought up. So I did junior football and cricket. I won a lot of premierships too. So.
Were you a back pocket player junior level when you came up? Were you always that defender?
Do you know the answer to this?
No.
No, we don't. No.
First time I ever played in the back pocket was at
Sheedy.
Essendon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was a forward and midfielder.
That actually makes sense, to be honest, with Sheeds. Like, he's capable of anything, isn't he?
He's capable of anything. You know, like I've been doing the circuit, talking circuit a little bit with Sheeds and Harvey and Dustin Fletcher.
Okay.
And last year I did them with Hurdy and Terry Danner, Sheedy's captains, premiership captains.
Yeah. Yep.
And then last year was like the reunion of '93, the baby Bombers.
Yep.
And what was I going to say? I was going to with
Position.
Dustin. What he did with Dustin was he rang him. He said, "Oh, you're going to play this week. You know, is he still going to school?" He said, "Oh, great. You know, I'll just play on the bench. You know, let's you have a look. You know, feel the game." And then Dustin said, "Great." Told his family that. Yeah, went got ready for the game in the change rooms. Yep, all right. He's on the bench. Nothing changed. Walking down the race, he said, "Hey, Dustin, come here." He said, "Change the setup." He said, "You're not on the bench anymore. We're just taking Salmon out of the ruck. We're putting him full forward, and you're going to go in the ruck."
Oh, wow. Wow.
17-year-old, and he was playing against Justin Madden.
Oh, my.
It was Carlton. I was actually there that day.
Were you there that day?
I was actually there that day.
That's incredible.
That's unbelievable.
That's amazing.
That is unbelievable.
So
and
he just spring it on you like
he's
that.
bringing it on all the time. Yeah.
But what? So why do you reckon he'd do that? So you wouldn't sort of stress about?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sometimes if it just happens in live time,
Yeah.
you go and do it. And,
Well, he did it so often.
Yeah.
Like,
And it
wasn't-
worked.
It
did
worked.
stress before things, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course, 100%.
Did you?
Go on.
Oh,
You
sorry.
go,
I was going to say, did you use, when you coached,
That's what I was gonna
did
say,
you
yeah.
use his philosophies?
No,
Did
not
you-
that one.
No, not that one, but did you use anything, like that obviously you learnt a lot from him.
Yes.
Did you use some of the things that he taught you to put forward to others?
Yeah, for sure. I used to study him, you know.
Okay.
Not that I ever knew I really wanted to coach, but like, You know, you're working with someone and he's your boss. You know,
That's right.
Try to work out what sort of person they are and how to
right.
coach. I did notice a lot of things he did, and I noticed myself doing them when I was coaching. So
That's
definitely the game plan, the balance, you know, the attack and defence. Like Geelong, they had no idea how to defend. You know, they just wanted to win games by kicking
Really?
goals.
This is when you came in 2000.
Yeah. You know, the worst defensive team for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
16th, ranked 16th.
So that was Gary Ayres before.
And Blighty, yeah.
Blighty,
So it was
yeah.
like a legacy.
Blighty.
And even really, when you go back a long, long time, it's the way they've always played. You know, they
always
are
a bit
happy entertaining
flamboyant.
their supporters.
Absolutely.
You know, flamboyant. Yeah.
Well, when you got Gary Ablett Senior there, I mean,
Exactly.
how else do you
He
play
worked
this?
most of the time except for grand finals.
Before we go into coaching, we'll continue rolling through. We're into 84, grand final, 84, three-quarter time. You've probably been asked this question a million times. What were your thoughts?
Oh, I thought we were in a bit of trouble, actually. I think most of the players did.
Yeah.
But, stupid coach came in, bounced it into the circle, said, "Oh, boys, well done." He said, "Great, we're playing so well. We're going to win this game, And we sort of looked at ourselves and said, has he looked at the scoreboard? We're 22 points down or something in three-quarter time. He said, you shouldn't win from there.
You kicked a lovely goal at the end and give the salute there.
He's played on. Thompson, Hawthorn in complete disarray at the moment. And Thompson has a chance to make the difference, 5 points.
Thompson from about 30 metres out, if that. And if this little fella needs to kick a goal, this is the one to kick. Comes in, straightens the one. And there it is, a goal. 5 points the difference. Oh, what a grand final. 10-8, 68 Hawthorn, Western 8-15, 63. 7.5 minutes gone.
This is Thompson now, very deliberately lines it up. And a lovely kick under the pressure that he's under out there at the present moment.
But, we were playing well.
Goal too.
And I think if he had come out on the ground any other way, we may not have won, because like sometimes you just need to, whether you know it or not, you just, confidence is a marvellous thing, support, recognition, rather than being critical and fearful, and that was never Sheeds. Like, he always gave us the option to, we're a chance to win here.
Did you always feel like you had one up on Hawthorn?
And hence, look at the success.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, it was a funny day because when you think about it, like, he'd been coaching, made finals, got dropped out first final, first couple of years. Then he played in the grand final against Hawthorn 83 and got his ass kicked, basically.
I remember that.
Yeah, and Tim got knocked out and everything else happened. And then he's fronting up the next year and he's in the same position. Right? And at three-quarter time, he's actually the worst position. He's 22 points down. And for him just to go, right, we're going to put Baker forward, we're going to put Paul Weston forward. They hadn't played there all year. Right?
Far out.
And Duckworth forward from the half-back flank.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then they put Terry down there and a couple of defenders. You put the forwards down back and the backs down forward.
Incredible.
And they lost Kevin Walsh
in
that last quarter.
No, that was the year after, I think.
Kevin Walsh got knocked out in the grand final.
84?
Yeah,
85?
84.
84, was it? Yeah.
Kipper got him.
Shoots the ball down to the half-forward line. Curran gets into position, punched away by Danaher playing at centre-half back. Oh, Walsh got one from DP a minute ago. Caught him on the point of the chin. The umpire going across to take his number. Oh, he's ironed him out like a tack.
Yeah, I know.
Early in the last
I was
quarter.
far away. Yeah.
He wasn't far away.
I heard it. So, like, encourage you to do that.
That's
amazing. And
Well, you live by the sword there, don't you?
Yeah, of
you
course
just
he
go,
does.
well, look, if we're going to go down fighting, we'll either lose by 10 goals or win this game. And
that's an incredible win, that was.
That was an incredible win. And that was like, well, it was 19 years since we'd won one. And it was amazing. It was like Geelong's first one, 2007. It was like, it was a drought breaker. Otherwise, the special ones, because the suffering fans have been along for, all those years without one. So, I remember having a dramatic effect on me, that one, the celebrations of that one. Yeah.
dramatic.
Yeah, dramatic, yeah.
Elaborate.
Well, just people that you sort of bring around and cry. And just the happiness, that demonstrated. And you knew how much it meant to people. Like that, when you play yourself, and it's great, and you want to win, but actually these people like it. They love to win. Yeah, they loved it. And
Mark Thompson. Number 27, Simon Madden. Number 26, Mark
Thompson. Number 27, Simon Madden.
It's funny you say that because we're pretty passionate with all our clubs, and you think as a player sometimes you go, do they really? Of course they care, but you're right what you're saying. You get off you walk off watching, you're just frustrated. You know, like sometimes for 2-3 days we're whinging and whining, aren't we?
Yeah. Doesn't eat for 3 days.
Don't have to tell him that.
Haven't eaten much lately.
That's it. Not so much.
Look at me. If this goes on for another year, maybe nothing left.
I reckon
maybe I should start barracking for him.
It's a good diet supplement.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I reckon it's changed now. I reckon the players don't care as much as what they did back in the 80s and the 90s. I reckon. Do you reckon? What? I mean, you probably know best, wouldn't you?
Well, they don't seem to care about much, do they? Except what they want to care about.
Yeah, exactly.
So true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you know, like you hear the commentators, and I'm okay with it, but you know, they're shaking hands after the game and smiling and all that sort of stuff. And back in the 80s, you never did that. You know, you walked the opposite way.
Yes.
So
I didn't want to play for Victoria because I was playing with the opposition.
You played one game for Victoria.
Exactly.
That's it. I didn't want to play.
Oh, really? 1986.
Wow. No, I didn't want to play.
What's
I
your
didn't want to become
experience
friends
of
with them.
Jeez.
So
That's what you want.
Didn't want to play, and you played one, and
So
put your hand up and say, I don't want to play anymore.
No, I think I might have said something.
You're like, don't pick me.
Yeah, something. A year later, I went and said I had a sore back or something.
Ankle sore.
It wasn't an ankle. It wasn't an ankle.
Sore. Back sore.
So you were the first of the originals to destroy State of Origin footy because you didn't want to play it in 1986.
No, don't say that. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people doing it at that stage.
Yeah.
It was like. It was a chore to some of them.
Well, put it this way: you're playing on a Tuesday, you're travelling to WA. You
should have had a rest.
Yeah, there's no rest.
A week off or something.
We used to play that stupid game, like the Foster's Cup.
Yeah, during the week.
A week, like 3 games in 7 days.
And how many people you'd be like,
ridiculous.
1,000 people at those Tuesday nights, 2 degrees, no one there. Only idiots like me would go.
Yeah.
I went a few times too. Yeah.
We'll talk about night series. You're Premiership day and night captain in 1 year. You're only one of 3 others.
That's amazing.
So Terry Dano, Michael Tuck, James Hurd and Cameron Ling, 4 others. There's 5. So only one of 5 men. I know the night competition didn't go long, but it went from 77 to 2013.
Yeah.
But great achievement that. Like, people don't bring that up.
No.
It's pretty rare, isn't it? Yeah.
That's
the only one that
huge.
gets any credit for winning night premierships is Dermot Brereton. You know?
I know, they always talk about
because he gets introduced as that way.
We introduced him as a 6-timer.
6 days, 6 nights.
Just
So
Trump Dermot.
That's it. He won't be happy about that, would
No,
he?
you're claiming that. Or we'll claim it for you.
Absolutely.
I'd like to thank the players who did a terrific job tonight. I'd like to also thank Richmond. There has to be a winner and there has to be a loser, and that was Richmond tonight. I'd like to say thank you to the club. We've really developed a lot of young players and they're going to be great for our future. And last of all, I'd like to thank all you Essendon supporters. We've got one more day to the election. On the bomber.
And the captain, Mark Thompson. And now Polly will present the Premiership Cup. Foster's AFL Premiership 1993. What about it? Right now, Bomber, what we're going to do is ask you to lead the team
The gallant Baby Bombers on a lap of honour. Off you go.
I'd just like to thank all you magnificent supporters. Thank you.
Well done. Come on, let's hear it. The Bombers. Foster's AFL Premiers, 1990.
The captaincy, 1992.
Yeah.
What's the story of the handover from Terry Danaher into 1992? You captained for 66 games, and then the handover was to Gary O'Donnell. But the experience, and were you surprised?
I think Timmy was captain, wasn't he? Who was captain?
Terry Danaher in 92.
Was he?
Yeah.
Terry, I thought it was
well,
Tim.
you tell me.
Tim.
Timmy Watson was?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not sure.
Correct that.
Because he retired in 92 and he came back in 93, Tim Watson.
That's right. 92, I reckon. Anyway, well, okay.
Didn't he do his knee? Who? You actually did an interview, believe it or not, because we found it on YouTube.
What's
you did. Yeah, you did an interview in 93, at the start of 93.
Oh, yeah, we saw it.
And you said Tim Watson was coming back and he's come back from his knee surgery. So he probably didn't even play 92.
I know Danaher retired in 92.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can I ask you straight away, can we talk about Tim for just a quick moment, because everyone has been talking about him. Were you surprised that, A, he's coming back, and B, what's the reaction been like at Windy Hill this week? Because you've had other things on your mind, let's face it, like a Foster's Cup final.
Yeah, it's been a big week, and I think when Timmy retired last year, it really shocked the place. It was really bad news because he'd been one of the favourite sons. And a year out, and I really don't know his reason for coming back, but I just know as a leader of the club, I'm very happy to have him back, and I think that there's a lot of young players that I'd play with Timmy already, but there'd be probably 15 or so players that haven't had the opportunity to play with him. I think they're really looking forward to that.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Remember Danaher
and Madden, they played the last game.
Oh, yeah, I remember it all right. Yeah.
It was a big deal about
stressful
that.
time.
Yeah.
So how was your experience?
No, I think
as captain.
I think Terry was captain because when Simon got dropped one night, like everybody knew, like the big gun's going to get dropped.
Yeah.
He got dropped, and he stormed out of the change rooms and that, and so disappointed, and I didn't know what to do. I think I was vice captain then. So
yeah.
I think Timmy must have been captain because Tim was vice captain to Terry. Yeah. So anyway, Terry came up to me. It wasn't Tim, it was Terry, and said, "Come on, son." He said, "We're going around to see the big fella." He said, "We're going." He said, "Oh no, we're not, are we?" Jeez. Oh God. So, yeah, but that's the way he was, mate. He's just confront things, Terry. Terry would just confront them, Like this is a problem, we've got to deal with it.
We've got to do it.
Right. We've got to do it. That's the sort of captain he was. Tim was a different type of captain. I was probably a little bit different as well. But
how was your captain style?
More supportive, yeah.
Okay.
Like Terry wasn't, he was supportive, but he wasn't nice.
I know what you mean.
It wasn't a nice support. It was like, come on, son, we've got to get out and work,
Yeah.
You come with me, we're going for a run, And he'd go and run 10 kilometres and you'd be, keep on Sunday morning, and then he'd go to the pub and have 10 beers and you're on your head by the end of the day. He wouldn't let you off the hook,
Right.
And that's the sort of captain he was, but I was more sort of like support. I was more about, everyone being a captain, everyone voicing, everyone caring about the team. If you see something on the field that you think is not right, person not standing in the right spot or the right matchup, just change it.
Yeah.
It's just you have the
delegation.
You have the care, to go out and do it, and because the bloke you might be talking to, you think's doing the wrong thing, might not know he's doing the wrong thing.
That's right.
Yeah, he might be lost, and he's just a reminder, and he'll do it straight. He's got,
just a little bit of direction, maybe.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all it is. So that's the sort of captain I was. That sort of coach I was too, I think.
At the end, what happened there? Did you hand it over? It was time.
Yeah, I think I handed it over. End of
Gary O'Donnell, 1995.
Yeah, 95, I think. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you retired, obviously, in 96.
Yeah, I was going to retire in 95.
Oh, okay.
I was going to do my last game, and I like everyone. Like you find things hard to do. Get out of bed of a morning, Sunday morning was pretty hard. Going to training, the mental side of that. Worried about who you're going to play on. Whether you're good enough, worthy enough, or whether they're just trying to find the weakest player for you. You have all those doubts, The doubts start to creep in, and when they do, you're gone.
Forward.
Yeah, the fifth or sixth forward. Maybe starting the bench. And then I started to have those doubts, and you sort of see it with players. I sort of noticed it when I was coaching, when players were starting to go through it. You can see it, can't you? Yeah. And so I wanted to retire, and Sheedy said to me, he said, "You're not retiring." I said, "What do you mean?"
Jeez.
I said, I'm done. I said, I told him everything. I told him I was worried about that. He said, don't worry about that. He said, you know. He said, you're on 193 games or 194 games. He said, I want 200 game players. You know?
He was big on that, wasn't he?
Oh, he was massive on it.
Yeah, really.
And I thought, I said, I can't do it for 6 games, mate. You know? He said, you do it. Come on. He said, I really need you to do it. I want you to do it. You know. I said, I've got to get some layers over the line. So, yeah, sure enough, I played.
It's about right because he played about 9 games in '96.
Yeah,
got across the line.
Played. That's it.
Yeah.
9 games. So I must have been stuck on 93.
It was about that. Yeah, you're spot on. It was about that.
I played 202.
202.
So, and I'm really glad I did play in the end because playing 200 was quite a special thing.
For sure.
Once I achieved it.
Yeah, you would have felt like it's unbelievable. Can I just ask?
Trying to get there was hard.
Oh, I can imagine.
While we're on the Essendon thing, towards the end of the Essendon thing, who was like the best player you played with at Essendon in your opinion? Like the best, like disciplined? I know there's a lot, but some that you just look up to and go, this guy's just would do everything right.
I reckon I play with a couple of super players. Like if you have a look at the all-time Essendon bests, I play with Hurd, Watson, Danaher, Madden.
Massive.
You know?
What a question.
That's
pretty.
I know, but I just wanted to.
They're probably in the top 15, all of them.
Personally, I love Timmy Watson. I
love Timmy too.
So who was your favourite player to play with? Not necessarily the best, but who did you enjoy playing with?
Probably Vander.
Vander.
Oh yeah, I love Vander.
Are the stories about him true?
Yeah, and I love Terry. You know, like Terry. You just know that he would never dudge you, you know. Like if he could help you, he would. You know? That's how you knew. That's what you knew about him, you know. And you knew that he would just give everything, you know. And you've seen him just wear out 2 players in a day, you know. They put someone on him for a half. He is a running machine, yeah.
Far out.
And that group of boys was just an amazing people.
Obviously.
Amazing group of people to learn off, you know, about life, you know, about how they sort of challenge themselves and they keep standards up. And how they bring people up. Yeah, they're pretty good. Roger Merritt was a great player too. You know, Merv Nagel, Paul Buggers passed away. God rest his soul. And he was fun. He was always fun. Yeah, he was fun.
What about Vanderhaar? Was that true? The stories about Paul Vanderhaar? You know,
every one of them would be true. There wouldn't be a word of a lie.
He's deflected that beautifully.
Oh, the bloke he was a gun. He was an absolute gun. Took some big marks, kicked goals.
Oh yeah, he's a super player. He actually thought that. He tried to get off the grog and said he went worse. I'm not sure. He probably didn't try for long enough.
No. Probably tried for a week.
It's like having half a dozen cans before on a Friday night.
Incredible.
Yeah, incredible because, things he got up to, they're all true. Yeah.
But he was
true.
just
he used to go out midweek. He used to just like.
But you could in 1984 and 85.
To a point. It started to become a bit professional, sort of mid-80s,
93 was about. That era where you took over as captain was more the profestional.
That's when it went professional.
Yeah.
Semi.
They went from nighttime training to daytime and more commitment. But I don't know. I reckon most of the blokes still playing footy back in the 80s were probably still not drinking that much. Not going out to chasers and Chevron and all those places. Midweek.
Stating the obvious, physically tougher than now, because now occasionally you can't do anything now. No. Those days you cop a hit. Yeah. Like I've seen some of the hits we've seen some of the hits, my Lord.
Yeah.
Like
probably you underrate the force of the hits now though.
Oh, okay.
And the amount of times they get hit now. They probably get hit more. Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
If you go out and train with these guys, and I used to be in the middle of it, trying to stick my nose into training and trying to get things the way you want it. And you could hear the hits.
Right, okay.
Even at training, and they're not even trying to.
As a coach, you're like, for God's sake,
mate, they're powerful boys. They are more powerful than you think.
Right, okay. Interesting.
Quick, like things happen quick.
Yeah, jeez.
Like they handle the ball, they get no time to get rid of it now.
Yeah.
That's been replaced. The biff's been replaced.
Yeah.
That's probably a good thing.
Hard. Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't say that they'd be that much tougher. I reckon if the blokes playing today were as fit as they were, and they were playing in that era, they could hand out some good biffs too.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So you offered off about 10 blokes that were absolute champions.
Yeah.
Essendon Footy Club had a vote of every player, and then with all the votes, the best player, obviously the most votes was number 1. It was the all-time Essendon Club champions.
Oh, yes.
And you were 20th.
Yeah.
That's not a bad effort. And back pocket in the team of the century. So realistically, Thompson goes amongst all those names.
Yeah, that's massive.
That's about right.
And you played with unbelievable players, like you said.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that I'm one of those
20th
players.
and back team of the century back pocket.
Yeah.
So how many votes do you reckon you got? Brownlow votes? Have a guess.
Maybe about 15?
23.
23, yeah.
1 vote. Essendon. P. Thompson, 2 votes. Carlton, P. Meldrum, 3 votes. Richmond versus St Kilda.
So you got 6 in 1986 as your most, and 5 in 19...
that was probably one of the better years.
Best year? One of your best years?
Yep.
So what happened in 1988? Did you have a Rico? You missed a
I had
whole
a
year.
Rico, yes. I missed a year back then. I did my knee in the last practice game of the year.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God. I knew I'd done my knee.
Oh, was it out Skinner Reserve or something like
that?
that?
Was at Windy Hill.
Yeah.
They had the big function, the jumper presentation membership thing, after. And I went up to that because my knee wasn't that sore at that stage. It wasn't until the next day I tried to get out of bed. I put some pressure on it. There was nothing there.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And that was gone, yeah.
So that was a ACL?
ACL.
Yeah. And you recovered, obviously. And
when you think Neil Dano had his done in 83 and I had mine done in 87. And he didn't
never
work.
came back.
Yeah,
and
never
mine
played
worked,
again. Yeah.
You know, and I never had a problem since.
Yeah.
Just very lucky.
Yeah, something depends.
So the 898th player you were to be selected for Essendon.
898.
So that's your cap. That's your cap number.
898.
So 2 BNFs, Crichton medals.
Yes.
87 and what was it? 90.
Yeah. That wonderful year we got beat by Collingwood in the grand final.
Yeah,
Tell us about
that was an ugly,
match, mate.
ugly game, wasn't
Tell us about that day.
It was just a build up to that day. The whole final series, like the end of the season, didn't work for us. Like the whole year did. In '89, we made the finals. We got beat by Geelong out at Waverley.
Yeah,
and we weren't a bad side, and they just had a day out, where their game plan worked. Did he? Yeah. That sort of hurts a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But you whacked him 2 weeks earlier by about 80 points.
Yeah, I know. It's fun.
How weird is that?
Yeah, I know. It's, I don't know how that works, but that whole final series was there was a draw involved in it.
Did that hurt? Was that the main reason why it hurt your flag chances, that draw?
I think we're tiring. And I think that that definitely. I remember being on the bus at Waverley. We watched the game, and I think who was in front all day? Was it
West Coast controlled most of the day?
Yeah. And we thought we're walking away going to play West Coast, and then they got up and got a draw. Someone kicked a point. Sumich kicked a point.
That's right.
Yeah. And it was a draw.
He'll take his time. The umpire's called time on here too, Dennis says. So the clock is frozen. It's 17 seconds now. It continues to run. It's down to 14. If Sumich kicks the goal, the Eagles are into the second semi-final. Peter Sumich. It's a tie. It'll be a draw. It is a tie. There's the save. It's a draw. A sensation. A draw. Don't ask me where that leaves us. Rory Keane shakes his head. I think the only people rubbing their hands would be at Geelong. I think it leaves us with a busy weekend next weekend. 13-12 apiece. Shows of 1977 when North Melbourne.
And my God, we just had to try. Everyone just went silent in the bus. Like,
Well, you didn't want to play Collingwood.
No, we had to have the bye.
They had the week off, but you didn't want to.
It means we had another week of training.
Do you know what happened in that week of that bye?
Yeah. We got our asses kicked.
Do you know what you did on the Saturday?
Practice match.
You played Fitzroy in a practice match.
That's unbelievable. What? I didn't know that.
There?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
You played Fitzroy in a practice match.
I think I even said this to Sheedy, like the last 2 years I've been with him, doing these talks, saying he's finally agreed that it was probably the wrong preparation for him.
Yeah, I reckon it was.
It's taken him a long time to get through to him.
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that one.
No, in a practice match, full scale, full on.
It's nuts. Yeah. We trained that hard, I remember. Then we probably did some running.
I'm sure you did.
So we were just flat.
And you got whacked in the second semi,
Yeah, legless.
Far out. Because that game was like, Collingwood got on top pretty quickly.
In the grand final.
Yeah.
What about the blue? Where were you in the blue?
Collingwood, 2-5, 17, lead Essendon, 2-2, 14. And we have a brawl of the siren in there. Always receiving plenty of attention is Kelly.
And we thought this had happened very early on, and now they're not mucking around, these guys. And usually this does happen early on in a grand final, not at the quarter-time break.
Kick it forward.
And there's a fella you can see there, a Collingwood player down. It looks like it's Christian.
There's probably 3 or 4 pockets
right near that. Maybe we can get some comment from Bernie, who's standing right beside the incident.
I had an injury. I was walking to the ground. Call the group.
Yep.
The huddle, because I needed an injection before the game.
Oh,
the
okay.
doctor said, put this in your toe. I had a broken toe, and he said you won't feel it until half time. Maybe we'll have to do one at half time. Maybe you get through. About 5 minutes into the game, I was starting to feel it. Oh, mate, this is going to be a hell of a day, this one.
Didn't get any better, did it?
No, it didn't get any better. We kicked 5 goals as a team.
Jeez, I remember that.
Yeah, and their momentum was up, they were just sparky, we just flat as tacks.
And because they had one for ages too. Remember Collingwood?
yeah.
Everyone was on it.
Well, they got you in the second semi pretty badly too.
Did they get us that day?
Yeah, by 10 goals.
Yeah. Yeah,
So they
we
got
played
you
them in round
comfortably.
19 and won.
Yeah, that Waverley. Yeah.
We played them that day and won, but we only just won there too.
By kick.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, they had the momentum. Yeah,
They weren't the best team in the comp though.
Oh, nah.
Essendon were, weren't they?
Oh, sort of. Yeah, but we were sort of aging too a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was.
But you needed to
that was the
jag
last
one more.
spurt.
Yeah.
Out of Watson and Danaher
Yeah.
and Madden and Merritt and Folds and these sorts of guys.
Folds.
Yeah.
Number 10, Gary Folds.
Number 10, the magnet we used to call him.
So
The magnet.
Yeah, used to be able to turn
Not
it up
off
and
the
on.
field or on the field?
No, on the field. Like the ball magnet, like you turn the ball, come to me, without getting his knees dirty.
Yeah, he was a nice player, wasn't he?
He was very nice.
Yeah, he's a nice player. That's a good word.
Wasn't
Smooth
tough,
running
wasn't
half
skilled,
back
just a
flanker.
nice player.
Had a nice foot on him too.
Yeah, he was just
Didn't get any.
nice.
Didn't ever run into any trouble.
No, he just
avoided
played 300
trouble.
games. Like, you wouldn't expect him playing 300 games, would you?
No,
Gary
exactly.
Folds of all people. So I just wanted to ask you, in '93, how did Essendon win the premiership with the Baby Bombers?
Oh, that's incredible.
How did the Herds and Mercuries and Mercedes and all these guys and Alessio and
It just...
Good question, because
like it just came out of
it just
nowhere,
came
really?
out, yeah, and I think it was a rare year, and the thing that I keep thinking about is that Sheeds he was the first coach to, I reckon 84, 85, we won premierships because we were the fittest, and he used to bring a ball along to training the first day we trained.
Yeah.
Right? So our skills improved out of sight. When everyone else was still running, they used to just do a running program before Christmas. We had the balls out already.
Balls out, yeah.
Smart, mate.
And then he gave us all a ball to kick. He gave us a ball over the Christmas break, and I certainly had kicks and played with the ball. And I wouldn't have probably I would never buy a football. So and then we come back and he trained really hard, and we did a lot of school-based training, and we improved our skills, and that was our advantage, I reckon, in that era. And then in '93, what he did was he sort of had an eye for the future and where things were going, and he thought we're going to go professional. Right? It was all being talked about.
So
He was
just
the
step
first
ahead.
club. He was 2 years ahead of every other club to get a full-time fitness coaching group. Right?
Amazing.
And what he got was Neil Danaher, Dennis Pagan, David Whedon, Danny Corcoran, and himself. Like there's a whole group of coaches now.
Big names too.
Yeah, and like they were all good coaches, and what it got was that you couldn't hide all of a sudden. You couldn't actually hide any poor performances, or everyone had to follow up with a coach during the week. Everyone on review and on pre-planning.
Yeah.
So no one would do that. Yeah.
We had a 2-year advantage, and out of that came end of '92. There was no more under 19s. It became,
That's right.
Yep. So our under 19 group of players that we had to select some, and we had first right to them, right? And that was our last chance we were going to get any our own developed players. And we got Mercury, Mercedes, Calthorpe, Ollerenshaw, Hurd, Fletcher.
Calthorpe.
That's pretty amazing.
I was on that
93 team, the young ones.
I was in that first group of 170
Were you
blokes.
really? Yeah.
Same age,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
first night I was done.
He's got a full-time coaching crew that he was happy with, and it was good coaches mixed with some elite talent. And they selected really well. And that's why we won 93.
But you weren't always going to win. Like, North were on top for 3/4 of the year.
West Coast won
And
92 and 94.
Yeah. So you weren't really
No, we weren't there.
favourites.
No.
Even going into the finals, you beat Carlton in that first final, that night final.
Did we beat them or lose them?
Oh, no,
They
Carlton
lost the
beat
first
you.
final.
Carlton beat you. That's right. You went to the first semi, yeah.
Close, wasn't it, that game?
Yeah,
it was only a couple of goals.
right.
Yeah.
Not even, I think.
There wasn't much in it. It was the first night final.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right, it was too.
Was that a Saturday night, if I remember
They
correctly?
showed it live, I think. It was a big
Was it?
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big deal. But it's just amazing how she's like just hearing, like everyone knows he's a genius, a mad scientist, if you like. Yeah. But just hearing that he's 2 years ahead of everyone else, that's pretty.
He knew.
That's incredible.
And,
Really.
and like we were in the new leadership group, like because Watson and Madden and Danaher had gone. So it was like I was the captain. But we also had halves. You had Buick, you had Salmon, O'Donnell, Chris Danaher, Somerville, Brent Bolt.
Yeah.
There was about 10 of us.
Massive
right?
names.
10 and 10. 10
Yeah,
older,
yeah.
experienced blokes. And I said to them, I remember saying, she was there, and said, together we're going to have to stand up and become great leaders of this young group, on and off the ground.
Yeah.
And so we looked after them on the ground, and off the ground, they're a little bit harder to take care of. Especially the Italian ones. The Tunnel nightclub and that. Oh, yeah.
But look, they become champions in those guys.
Yeah, they were legends. They became all became
Kieran
some
Mercedes
legends.
guns.
And Michael Long wasn't a bad player.
Went okay. He went okay.
Yeah, so. No,
Who was a better player, Wanganeen or Long? Just put you on the spot, mate. Just
if you look, I don't know, how do you analyse?
Yeah.
You analyse actual ability, what they've done on the ground with the amount of time, or do you do it over, like...
their career, I guess. I don't know.
Wanganeen had a better career.
Longer, yeah.
And he was a great player. Classy player.
He was good even towards the end. Like that 004 Port Adelaide.
Port Adelaide,
he was
fantastic.
He was
extremely
tremendous.
nice.
Tremendous. Never took a backward step, did he, either?
Well, he just never, hardly ever fumbled,
Yeah,
He's
an amazing
when he went
footballer.
for it, like how he went for it, he took some risks. I used to be behind him sometimes. Don't leave him, man, now, Captain. Don't leave him. Oh, shit, he's left him. But he'd go and just
And he'd
intercept
get
the
it,
ball.
yeah.
Like he had fantastic decision-making.
I remember he kicked 5 in a night game or something. His first game or
Oh,
three.
yeah.
I remember that.
He kicked that goal. He kicked that banana.
I remember that. And
Izzard, a high kick. Essendon want a mark. Can't get one. Waiting down Morris. Like a hot potato. Wanganeen bends it back. Bombers hit the front. Oh, what a debut. What a debut.
Is that a winning goal?
he was 17 at the time.
He's a very skillful player.
He was a star.
Yeah.
Is he the best player you played with, you reckon?
I think Hurdy's take me to
Hurdy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hurdy's an unbelievable
He was.
competitor. Like, he used to stand up, and when it got tough, he got tougher. When he needed to win, he just found a way to get the ball. Like, he's a super competitive guy.
Just control a quarter of football like this. I think he's had 15 disposals.
He has 15 disposals.
He's had 15 disposals, kicks a freakish goal, has won the important clearances. He's had 6 clearances in this final quarter.
And he's given an Essendon supporter a moment he will never forget.
Oh, you can tell just by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I remember one year he put on a bit of, like, his top half was really big. And I think he hurt his
On the
knee.
steroids, was he?
No, I wasn't going there. Wasn't going there at all.
Using James Hurd.
No, he was just...
What a shock.
Hurdy, mate, if you watch this, that's not what I meant. But he just got bigger because I think he just wanted to be tougher.
Yeah.
And he kept on hurting his hamstring.
How about his head? How about when he's hurt his
Yeah.
head?
Oh, yeah.
He's going back, he's doing the same thing. He's
geez.
flying back with the ball again.
That's just crazy.
He
That's
had
crazy.
was it the Lillian Frank, the ankle
Correct.
Liz Frank, yeah.
Liz
Liz
Frank.
Frank.
What did I say?
Lillian
Frank. She was that's the one.
And he did that twice, I think.
Yeah, because he was
Both him
too
and the
heavy. He was
sister.
too heavy. Yeah. Oh, geez, that's...
He had some injuries. He's tough.
Okay.
What was the question?
No, who's the best player you played with?
I play with, yeah.
You reckon Hurdy or...
Terry Danaher, Simon Madden. Oh, my God. He's...
Go the other end of the spectrum. Give us one out of left field. A player that you liked, thought he was okay, but never made it, but it sticks in your mind. Like, he was a decent footballer, or someone like
decent
that.
football or decent ability.
Decent ability, but potential never come through, and he played 1 game, 10 games, 15, just one out of left field that sticks in your mind.
I'm not going to say Dwayne Armstrong.
No.
No.
He didn't play a game.
Brad Plain was
Brad Plain.
Yeah. And he had ability oozing.
Was
really?
He did some bad things.
Right.
Okay.
Everything bad Bradley did.
Is that why he struggled to get a game and then got moved on?
Probably.
Let's just say.
Yeah.
He's went to Collingwood and North.
Yeah, 3 clubs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Probably all thought the same thing.
He wasn't a bad footballer.
He's a good footballer.
He's a good footballer.
A very talented player. Yeah. He's right.
So
who else was there? There's probably lots of those cases.
Yeah.
There's people you don't think of very much.
So I'm testing you now, aren't I?
Yeah.
So what's the Dean Wallace story? Because he was much maligned at Essendon and
He's got
Sheeds
something
kept
on
playing
Sheeds,
him.
He's seen Sheeds one night,
That's what I reckon, because everyone, all these Essendon boys kept saying, why are you playing Dean Wallace? He's hopeless, he's hopeless, he's hopeless.
Well, why'd they play Kevin Walsh?
Well, he was another example I was going to bring up. And
Nick Walsh. There was a Nick Walsh there.
Nick Walsh.
Remember him?
Yeah, but they were all okay.
Peter Bradbury.
Peter Bradbury. But it's just amazing how
Sheeds like certain things,
Yeah.
right? And in any size, he likes an element of toughness.
Yeah.
Right? So to protect,
Yeah.
the younger players are soft. If someone's got to happen, you can go to him. And obviously Dean was one of those guys because. I don't know, I played on the ground with Dean, and sometimes I'd be in the same situation. He'd run past me and go whack, and hit someone. I didn't even see that. I didn't see it was hittable. So he watched that. He looked for that rather than the ball. Sometimes.
So he'd let the ball players play the ball, and he'd go after the man.
Oh, no, not all the time.
Not all the time, but yeah.
He's what he sees and what I see were different.
Two different things.
And I never looked for those opportunities.
Yeah, fair enough.
But he did. He had him, and he was a tough man. He was a really physically strong man. You touch him, and it's hard. He's one of those guys like Archer. So he wasn't to be mucked around with. He was a serious person. Yeah. And I often wondered what it'd be like to see him and Harvey in a fight.
He could
their
go.
eyes
Harvey
have to be ripped out of their
he
heads.
could go, couldn't he?
Yeah, they're so good team. Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
They were very good mates, and then they've had a few blues.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, I think they've nearly challenged one another. I'd hate to see it because you probably end up in death.
Were you going to ask something?
Yeah, I was going to say, so who's the best player you played against?
I played on Matthews when I was young.
Oh, my goodness.
He was finishing up.
Talk about hard. He would have been.
He was hard. He made you earn it. He got me a couple of times. I used to try and run off him when I got the ball. He hated
Smart.
that. Yeah. To run away from him.
Absolutely.
And one time I got the ball, I got a handball receive, and the handball receive made me just pull up a bit.
Yeah.
And I knew he was coming. I tried to accelerate and see whether I could just burn him, and I couldn't. And he tackled me. And then I went to the ground as I was running fast, and then he stood and little back.
I'm going to find that vision.
Yeah. And then another time, it wasn't long after, might have been the same game, the ball hit into a pack. I was sort of front and square. I was on my man. Ball come down to me, right? And then someone tackled me, right, and pinned my arms. So I had the ball, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get rid of that ball. And on the back, this bloke's on me. And then Matthews just comes down from the top and just goes, smash me in the head, I couldn't even defend my head, I just had to cop it, I thought, But I got, in those days, I had to get him back.
Yeah, fair enough.
So did you?
Yeah, I did, of course. And
Gentleman's way?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And if you did, you had to do that.
Yeah.
You had to show mark of respect. Yeah. Otherwise, you never get respected, and these blokes will keep hitting you.
Was that
So
the
he
same,
didn't like
was that
being
the
hit
same
that much.
game? Same game, no.
I don't know whether it was the same game or it was another time, but he was just a grumpy. He was getting grumpy.
Right.
In his old age,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's funny because when I started coaching, I loved him as a coach. I thought he was the person to be like. His team were unbelievably skilled. He wasn't. He never got out there and said it was all because of me. He just didn't say much. He never boast, did he? He's just
No.
Not as a
honest,
coach, he didn't.
low
no.
key,
Intelligent as well.
intelligent.
Like,
Yeah,
what do you
smart,
like,
yeah.
you?
And in the box, he was all right.
Yeah.
And I just thought, gee, that's the way I want to play. That's why I want players to play, the game to be. I want to represent the club like that, And I'd go to talk to him at conferences and that, and he wouldn't give me anything.
Really?
Jeez. It's like I knew. He just
Memory
didn't-
like an elephant.
Yeah, it's like nothing. I said, shit, that's a bit disappointing, I wanted to learn off him.
You wanted
I
to
sort of
take some
ask him a few
ideas.
questions about how to do this job.
Yeah.
And he gave me nothing. And it wasn't until I finished at Geelong and at some night I went to and, Bomber, I said, how are you? He said, geez, I loved your team, you played so well. And he's yapping away at me. I think, who's this bloke?
So he was competitive because he didn't want to give you anything.
I had more respect for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
He didn't want to
Too,
give me
yeah.
I was in opposition
Yeah.
to him.
Yep.
And he hated opposition too, you know?
See, that's just the way it was then. That's what you were saying before.
That's like, I thought, and I ended up liking him. I ended up working with Channel 3AW for a year or two, and I really liked his comments there. I just like him, He's just, he's just the
honest.
Yeah, he's honest and he's informative. He's intelligent. He's not. What I say is gospel. Like he sort of he doesn't talk down at you. He sort of.
But I
talks
love
to
these
you.
little analogies, like, 5 minutes left, 5 goals. Like
That's
that
it,
theory,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know, like the game's over when you can't kick more goals than minutes.
A lot of people can confuse themselves in thinking about this game where he's just like simple formula. Bang. Yeah.
It's an easy game, isn't it, footy? When you
We say that all the time, don't we?
That's my thesis on football. I think some coaches make it just too hard.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you've got to get the ball and kick it through the big
You know what annoys the
sticks.
crap out of me watching it is when they kicked the ball to just try and keep possession.
Yeah.
So that they see that as a form of defence. You know?
Yeah.
Like, my God, like that's just... Anyone can kick the ball to that person.
Absolutely.
Anyone can mark it. Anyone can be out there.
You still need to
There's
score
no
to win the
skill in
game.
that. Yeah,
right?
that's right.
So that's why I can't understand like the Ross lines. I'm not a fan of the Ross line.
Aren't you?
No.
Oh, I like Ross.
Do you? I like him as a person.
He's a
I
very
like
good friend of mine.
I like his press conferences.
We don't get Ross on, man.
I'm only joking.
No, I do like his press
But you got one on him. You got a flag against him, so
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Lucky.
Talking about coaching,
Well, yeah.
and I was going to bring up something just because I wanted to know, because North, right? How'd you get to North coaching assistant?
Well, yeah, we're going to get on to coaching
sorry.
now. Yep. Let's move on to coaching. First question.
First question.
First question in coaching.
He gets the first one in coaching.
How did I end up there? Well,
Yeah.
Dennis Pagan came to Essendon when he couldn't get the North Melbourne senior job after being a super under-19s coach. For years he
I remember that.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm leaving. Sheedy encouraged him to leave and come to Essendon, so he did, and he won a premiership there with Hurd and Mercedes and all those boys, you know, in the reserves before they came up, and then he got the job at North Melbourne. So when it was my turn, like I'd been at Essendon as a player, I stopped playing. I was coached straight away the reserves. Coached your brother, I think.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, he did. Yep.
And I really enjoyed that, but coaching at Essendon might have been a little bit easy, you know, because I sort of wanted to know whether I'd like it if I was out in the real world, away from when the respect wasn't naturally there for me.
Yeah.
So I was going, and Sheedy's job was under the pump, and everyone was accusing me of wanting his job. I didn't want his job, you know. I just wanted
There was
to
a
get away
big.
from
There was a bit about that,
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
there? At
it's
the time?
rubbish, you know. But people can make rubbish up, and some of it sticks, you know. And I remember saying the last thing I did at Essendon was that I wrote a letter to the board saying, you know, I'm leaving, and the reasons why I was leaving, and I said, my knowledge of this list is that it's okay, you know. I said there's nothing wrong, it's not damaged. I said a lot of the young players are ready to step up, you know, Carousella, Blake, the two Johnson boys and all that were playing under
Peveril.
me. Pev, yeah.
Yep.
There was a lot of them, yeah, and Blumfield, young Lloydie. So the club was about to get some really good players, and I think that was when was that 90.
Well, 99 you're at North, so 98 you left.
Yeah, I was only 1 year at North, wasn't I?
Yeah, 1 year,
Yeah, so it was only 1 year. So the club won a premiership 2 years later with the players that I
That's
thought
right,
were good
2000,
players on
yeah.
the list, so.
Yep.
So I just... And Dennis, I think, gave me the job because of the fact that he got the job at
Essendon, yeah.
So thanks, Sheedy, again for that.
So realistically, that 99 senior premiership that you're in, because you were in the box
that's
on the
right,
day.
yeah.
I remember.
So you've been involved in 7 AFL premierships.
That's mind-boggling.
If you include that 99 one.
Yes,
That is mind-boggling.
So then, how are you...
That was a funny
better
day.
than
though.
Jock McHale.
That was a funny day because when I got the job at Geelong, Dennis I still want you to be at Essendon.
So you had it. You had the job going into the final series.
Yeah, he said to me, if someone's going to get you, he said, I'd prefer you did it, right? And
Yep.
just then we can concentrate on us winning the flag.
Win the flag, yeah.
I said, no problem. So I went and did it. And I did it quick for him, you know, and then we got on with winning the premiership at North. But once he knew he was in a winning position that day, he started to give me a cook, you know. And he's giving me a cook to sort of, he said, you haven't been in the hot seat yet. Cocko, he used to call him. Cocko.
Yep,
Cocko. You haven't been in the hot seat, Cocko. This is what it's like, you know. And he started...
Didn't give you a test drive for a couple of minutes?
No. He just thought everything I suggested, we're not doing that shit.
Well, that was because you're the Geelong coach.
There were some gun players. Look,
I've had a good team, please. I love to.
So I'm going to ask you one obvious question. I have to ask it.
I love to be.
I told you there's a ban on saying he's
the duck.
The duck, yeah.
How was it? Like, did you... I didn't
actually have much influence on the duck. He probably coached himself. Yeah.
Okay, so there wasn't...
you know what I did? I started introducing some skill acquisition for some of the younger players at North, and Duck walked off the ground one day off training and seen me doing that. There was a bit of marking work and controlling your space and making sure that where the ball drop was coming, that you had some room in front when the defender was away, and Duck joined in. And he said, "This is good. This is relevant." You know, he said, "This is what I do." Yeah, he said, "Very good that you're learning how to do this." You know? He knew at football that well, like Duck.
At the time.
How
do you feel about that?
I had to ask.
No,
Sorry.
it's good. Yeah, of
course.
Yeah, no, it was good. He was a good man. He understood. Yeah, footy.
So let's get on to Geelong. You get there in 2000. You make the finals in the first year. Lose to Hawthorn at Colonial Stadium by a kick, I think.
Colonial Stadium.
Colonial Stadium.
Was it?
Wasn't
Was
those
you sure
days?
about that?
That was the first name of the first year. It was the first year of the stadium.
It was.
How many other names has it had?
Oh, Docklands. We went through this on our show.
Telstra Dome.
Telstra Dome.
Colonial. What? Etihad.
Etihad
Marvel.
now.
Yeah, is there another one in between?
No, that's it. I think. No, I think that's it.
You reckon?
Colonial. Yeah.
We did that about Shell Stadium in Geelong.
We did.
It's had a few names too.
Yeah, it's had a few.
So you had like that first year, you got to the finals, but then you had 3 rocky years where you didn't make the finals. A little bit of pressure on you going into 004 after your fourth year, and then you made the final, and Lee Matthews beat you in that semi, where he carried on should have been at the Gabba that final.
Oh yeah, probably should have been though.
Yeah, true.
Now they,
It would have been
now it would
today.
be.
Right. Yeah, correct.
And then the famous Nick Davis in 005, so he got knocked out there.
Oh, you would have been.
Oh, how good was that?
Well, I had a couple.
Well, you still got your hair at least.
It's great to be part of finals, right? And you do everything you can to try and get there, but gee, they can hurt you too. You know, they can hurt you. They can play with your mind. And
I love the coaching aspect. What were your thoughts when you saw that contest? What were you thinking? Did you think anything at the time of Nick Davis?
Nick Davis? Oh yeah, I was yelling at the runner to get out in the ground and tell him to stay at the contest.
Yeah,
like there were 16 players in the picture when the umpire blew his whistle for the ball up, and our players were just unbelievable. The 2 minutes before that ball up, our players were desperate, jumping in. It was just a ruthless, both teams, you know. And then he finally blew the whistle, and they were all there. And I just saying to myself, just stay there, guys. Don't worry. There's 13 seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
It
was too.
We've been in front the whole time, and the only way we could lose it is if they thinned the pack out, right? And our players went with them, and that's exactly what happened. And I remember yelling at the runner, "Get out there and tell them." The runner was already on the ground.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. So I was yelling at myself.
And Davis walked through the pack.
He walked through. History. Yeah. Well, Scarlett walked away. Our best defender. Milburn, our most experienced player. Ling, our most
best tagger.
Best tag and best sort of.
How's the personnel down there?
Oh my goodness!
Ablett walked away. Like best player in the competition. Stay at the contest, Gazza. You probably win it. And they all got walked away. And they're all. You can't prepare for that situation.
No.
It doesn't matter how many times you do stoppage training.
Can't train it.
You can't train that because that's the moment. That took them.
You can't train the last 30 seconds.
You remember it.
Bomber's still doing your head in now by the sounds of it.
It was our game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't front your right.
How can you lose it?
That's right.
Yeah.
And I remember Sheedy lost one like that up in Sydney.
Preliminary final.
Plugger kicked the point.
Plugger.
Yeah,
I remember.
I remember going in the rooms and I remember him yelling at the players, just abusing them. And to the point where it was like a bit embarrassing,
Yeah.
And to the point where he lost his voice. He couldn't actually, he was yelling that. Oh yeah, it was serious, And it went on for about 25 minutes. And I left the box as soon as the game. I was out the oval and I was walking by myself and I was so fuming. If there had been a Geelong player in front of me, I probably would have whacked him too. I was just furious. Just lose it, and I'm going to rip someone's head off and that. So I got in the room and they just stayed on the ground and they shook everyone's hand from the opposition nicely. Yeah, well done. You're in the grand final. We've handed it to you. And I was in the room for ages, it seemed, and I was ready just to yell. And then by the time they come in and sat down, I just said, I just want to congratulate you on being in a position where, for all but 3 seconds of the game in front against this team, I said, it's just a marvellous effort. Oh. And I don't know how I said that, because it wasn't what I was thinking.
You would have hated that.
Yeah. But it was a good thing to say because it's true.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
100%.
We were out of the state. We had players injured. Stephen King was in the ruckman, the only ruckman we had. He was injured with a hamstring. And
Yep.
Charlie Gardner in the ruck, like skinny Charlie.
Charlie Gardner.
Yeah.
Charlie Gardner.
Oh my God. I'm not Charlie Gardner. It was Henry Playfair.
Henry Playfair. It's very similar players.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look the
Young
same.
VFL reserves player, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, and
They
they're
went
up
on
in
won the
Sydney,
flag
didn't
Sydney that year.
That's right. They
So
did. We would have won the
They
flag.
would have, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We would have won it.
For sure.
So that was they're bad things that happened. But
Following year, you won
That
the
was
NAB Cup, and then
yeah. Then we
you
fell
lost
apart.
to Essendon
Then we
in a
fell
semi,
apart.
and then you won the flag in 007. What do you got a question about
Brisbane game was the 2004.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
The Sydney game was 2005.
2005, yeah.
The Brisbane game, Lee Matthews said, geez, you played. And I said, when he started to talk to me, we talked about that game. He said, you played us that night. He said, yeah, that was almost a game where I thought about Geelong being the team.
That was it, yeah.
That's when he thought we were a good team.
That's when it started.
Yeah, it started. And it did start for us because they were our team that we measured ourselves against. They were we got smashed them first when we were young. Right? And the thing is, I was prepared to draft people out, that were no good and bring young people in. But there's a time when you're going to be no good. And that was 2002, 3, 4 years.
Were you under pressure
Yeah.
by the board as well?
Yeah.
That's you were twice under pressure.
But that was under pressure. But I just said to him, cool it. You
Yeah.
know, this is the plan. And we haven't even started yet, We're going to, the team will be a good team. I said to them, and Frank Costa remembers, I said 2007. I said, that's when we're going to fully develop and be a good team.
And that's
exactly when it happened.
But
And
round
that saved
4,
me
you're under pressure because you got whacked early in the year, and
Yeah.
then there was another, and then you come out and beat Richmond by about 190 points.
Yeah, that was the Brett Otten game.
Oh, I remember.
Game, yeah.
Yeah, the Brett Otten game. Leave him alone. Look at him. He just won a game for us.
All of you.
All of you.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
And then 007, I was in the box working for North in that first final. I was happy North official.
You run
getting
through
them.
you run through our team or something, didn't you? Our huddle.
That was the only time we showed any fight.
Have a look at this, the Kangaroos running through, and it was Shannon Watt and Cam Moody who first come to blows.
Well, this is 40 minutes before the game in the preliminary warm-up, and the two groups of players got intertwined. Just shows the emotions are running high even that early before the game, but wiser heads prevailed, fortunately.
Wrong team to fight, wrong team.
I was there that day and it was over in 15 minutes. We kicked the first goal, mind you.
Yeah. We did kick the first, yeah.
Archer had a few goals kicked on him that day.
Yeah.
Destroyed that.
Do you know who kicked a few that day?
Yeah,
Nathan Ablett.
Oh, Nathan. He's a good player, Nathan. But little chappy I put full forward on Arch because I sort of
Exposed
knew
him.
about a year. I knew he was slowing up.
Yeah.
He's having doubts.
Yeah.
He had those doubts coming in his head like,
Yeah.
people do. And I thought I'm going to make sure that Chappie has a good day today. So the team was focused on giving him goals. And Archer got me after the game and said, you set me up, didn't you? I said, oh, yeah, I did.
He had white line fever, didn't he, Glenn Archer?
Yeah, I thought he could carry it on after the game too.
But the thing
he's
is,
an unbelievable person too.
Smart. So as a coach, you'd think of that stuff. Like, I mean, we might have thought of that, but you wouldn't think of that. Oh, I'm going to put Chappie on Archer because he's slow.
That's
Do you know
right.
what I mean?
That's exactly right.
That's the difference between someone that's got the mind of a coach and someone that just follows it like say we do.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So grand final day, you're pretty confident. You knew that it was going to be.
But like the team club had played in 5 losing ones.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a
and
bit
that
of a
still
monkey.
come in their head. That was in the back of my head.
Mentality.
And in the back of their players' heads too. Certainly in the back of a lot of supporters' heads. Frank Costa said to Brian Cook at 3/4 time, do you think we've got enough, you think we're going to
A 3/4 time?
All across the NCG in a crumpled heap.
Well, Geelong will be the winners, of course, and they have just been absolutely awesome. They've deserved it. The defence has been outstanding. They cover for themselves all the time, and now it's all about just maintaining that pride for Port Adelaide.
Cats lead by a record margin in a grand final at 3/4 time, 90 points.
because he'd seen some bad performances.
Yeah.
I'd also like just to thank Port Adelaide. Two best teams got to play off in the grand final.
Well, yeah, they copped it pretty hard. Like, 89, 92, 94, 95.
Had a lot of chances, didn't they? Yeah, Geelong.
There's 4 flags in 6 years
Yeah,
that they had
They've been a highly successful club. Like, one of the reasons why, I looked at their history before I coached there. They made the finals so many times.
Yeah.
Right? Not many flags, but the top 4, they were always up the top floor for like 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even now,
Yeah,
they're the most consistent side. There's a team you want to barrack for.
I know, but it's talking about Geelong, you play with unbelievable players at Essendon, but some of the players you coached, we spoke about that off the other day, incredible names.
Oh, yeah, they are now. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the thing is, here's one for you. I think Geelong had 16 200-game players, right, before I got there. 16 only. And I reckon there's 16 from when I started coaching until I finished.
Yeah.
I like 200-game players too. You know where I got that from?
Sheedy.
Mm.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree in
It
the
doesn't,
coaching
mate.
tree.
No, it doesn't.
The coaching tree.
The coaching tree, isn't it?
You create legends, and that's what's the history of clubs and success of the clubs on these legends,
Yeah.
And
Ablett
stars,
Junior,
like,
and
that's why they should never leave clubs. Like Buddy should never left Hawthorn.
I know.
Gazza should not left Geelong.
What, Plugger to Sydney as well?
Yeah. Oh, well, all of them. Like kids have their number on their back.
Yeah.
They're not going to change it to a Sydney jumper. Or a
So were you
Collingwood
ever
jumper.
lured
Hey,
by
no.
another club?
Yeah, North Melbourne asked me.
North Melbourne, yeah?
Yeah,
In
I
your
don't know
peak?
whether I don't know whether I set up or not because I had the manager, he's a dodgy.
He would have dealt.
Yeah, dodgy. Not dodgy, but I didn't want to go anywhere.
Yeah,
I
yes.
told him, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, leave me alone.
So were you, when Ablett left, were you Ablett Junior, how'd you feel? Like,
No, I'm fine with it. Yeah.
You okay with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be stupid not to go.
For that money,
Yeah,
right?
for the
I think
day.
he'd probably earning about 400,000-500,000 at Geelong. Not much. We're a very balanced club. As far
Always
as
has
giving,
been,
Right.
Like giving people money. It's all good players. Like Gary wouldn't have been. He would have struggled by himself. He was only on the ground playing the whole team, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So, we helped him out, and he was our highest paid player. But he's a long way short of what he was worth at other clubs.
yeah.
And they got onto it, and the AFL helped. And I think his wage was 1.8 million or something.
You've
And
got to
we were
leave.
paying him like 400 or 500 or something. We went to $1 million, doubled his pay, and that's when they took it out to 1.9
To the next
or
point.
whatever it is.
And that was the end of it.
And I said, what's the point? Whatever we're going to offer, they're going to offer more. They want him. And I said, he's going.
That's right.
We're going to have to lose 3-4 players because of it. So I didn't have a problem with him leaving.
Yeah, fair enough.
If he had asked me, what should I do? I'd say probably go too.
Probably go.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You're being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get 3 times your pay or whatever. That doesn't happen, come along very often.
In any circle of life.
In any circle of life.
Absolutely.
So he's destined to go. And just got to accept it, I'd accepted it. And that's why I didn't care,
Yeah.
I don't care. I talk to you too much because you're not going to be here next year.
Yeah.
That's right.
One more player that intrigued me, Bomber, was Stevie J.
Oh, yeah.
Anything?
Was he coachable or he just did his own thing? Bit of both?
When he did the wrong thing, when he did it the wrong thing a lot of times, off the field. You
Off the
coach him
field,
then.
yeah.
You coach him
Wasn't
then.
he almost traded at one point?
He was traded, yeah.
Yeah.
He broke his ankle at Anglesey.
He was a class
I
act.
was meeting the board on Sunday morning, right?
Yeah.
I get a phone call from him. Oh, Bomber. He said, I've had a bit of an accident last night. He said, the ankles. The ankles. I said, oh, what is it? And I was in the board meeting. I was one of the players, Steve Johns. I said, I probably should take it. So I went outside and talked to him. And he said, oh, it's not that bad. He said, it should only be like 3 or 4 weeks, I said, oh, that's good, So when I went back in the meeting, I said, oh, is he okay? I said, yeah, no, he's fine. He said, bit of an accident last night at the pub. I said, but he said, it's not too bad, Yeah, next week, he's never going to play again.
Jeez.
Both ankles are busted and cracked, broken bones, the bottom of your
Shattered.
Yeah, shattered. And doctor's saying he's not going to be good. He's not going to have a long career.
Unbelievable.
He was just a class actor.
But he just had a long career.
Yeah, he was a star.
He's a superstar. Him and Gazza used to play with the ball. They used to play golf, where get the ball, got to put it in the bin, but you got to curl it around a door,
You're kidding.
Oh yeah, and these blokes hit the lids all the time, That's how accurate they were. They were the most skillful people you've ever seen in your life.
Far out.
Kicking the ball from 40 metres, Gazza could hit the lid 4 out of 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
With a bucket.
What a freak.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, freaks.
So, Bomber, the 2008 grand final, the loss, the hot day,
Yeah, I
missing
remember that.
goals towards the end of half time.
Yeah, they all missed goals. They're all a bit
You
selfish.
were in a good position early in that second quarter.
Were we? Yeah, until Dew kicked goals.
Stu Dew came in early.
You could sort of feel it though, you know. Like I was very unhappy with.
You were uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was
about
uncomfortable
it?
how we were playing. Yeah, and I just found like things afterwards. You know, like they'd already planned their celebrations. We already won the game. You know, they had.
North did that in '98.
Yeah, no, it's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
I think Essendon did it in '99 when they played Carlton in that final. Like they weren't worried about getting tickets for the preliminary final. They were worried about getting tickets.
Grand final. Yeah.
Handed us a flag.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Dennis almost kissed me. I think we were watching the game, Essendon and Carlton game. We were part of the coaching crew at North Melbourne.
Yeah.
We all went and sat together, and he was so excited that Essendon had lost.
Absolutely.
So were we. Let me tell you,
because they were the raging favourites in '99.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So
and the following year they smashed the whole competition, didn't they?
yeah, that was amazing. So Gary Ablett Jr.
Yeah.
How did you make him into a superstar? Because he was a good player, and they always said he had some skill and he could be better than his dad, but we never saw it. Was it when he cut his hair, or what involvement did you have in it? Because he had that long
he
hair.
did have long hair. He went bald pretty early, like his dad. I probably didn't have that much to do with young Gazza.
Really?
I suppose, being Billy did a coach, because he had everything. He got passed down from his dad. In fact, we tried to sort of get the whole of Geelong screened, to see whether Gary Ablett had any more sons. Because the two he had were just beauties,
Just add water and go.
Yeah.
Maybe set up a clinic or something, Who wants to have a baby? One of Gaz's. Gary. No, he didn't. What we did with him was they had a different life. Those two young boys. There's two girls, two boys.
Yep.
And it was a lot of pressure for them. Small town, and his dad was obviously the biggest name in the game. And it just got... What happened to him is probably not your normal way to grow up, And I used to go to school without lunch in the middle of winter with shorts on and T-shirts, and the teachers would look after him, get him food, make sure they had food. And so it's like just a bit different, and both very shy, And... so what we had to do was just really not throw him out into the wolves, into the media. Like, he was so scared to talk to the media. We just let him do little things, bits and pieces, and gradually his confidence built up where he knew that he had to do it eventually, but it took a long time. And he'd make promises to do things, but then wouldn't do them. He'd pull out, So it was a bit of a heartache for the marketing department of the club and all that. But from a point of view that we wanted to bring him on and just give him, just treat him well and let him play football. Football side of it was very easy. One thing that did happen was that he didn't love the weights.
Right, yeah.
He probably didn't need to.
He was never really a muscular. Yeah, he was thick, but
straight. He was square.
He was hard.
He was hard. Yeah.
Like, he didn't need it.
He's an Ablett, right?
Yeah, he's an Ablett.
Big core.
Yeah, massive. Gazza used to train runners. Right? He hated stops. Even when it was pouring rain, right?
That's in Jed.
And he would never, ever slip over. Jeez. The way he kept his feet was amazing, And that's why, he could shimmy people, really easily. And people would tackle him and he wouldn't feel them, he can just wipe them off. And it was amazing. Just like everyone else was wearing long stops and that, and falling over, and Gazza would just come through, with a pair of runners on and never lose it.
That's mind-blowing.
That's amazing. Yeah?
That is mind-blowing, actually.
He played tall. It sounds stupid, but when you had him one out at times, or I don't know if you made him go one out, but he was very good one-on-one.
Oh, very good, yeah. No. He ended up taking a few marks like his old man. I don't think he really wanted to be a marking player. I reckon he could have been. He could have replicated his dad a bit, I think.
Easily.
Yeah. I think he's tall. Or
I reckon he's...
One inch smaller. He's not that much smaller. It's amazing. And Nathan, my God, Nathan had more ability.
I was going to ask about him. What happened?
Nathan had more ability.
But he didn't want to play.
He did play. He played in grand final.
He played, but he didn't want to continue. Like, football wasn't his first sort of love, or
surfing.
Well, what?
Well, it was just a shyness, and it was like being in the spotlight, and just he hated the eyes on him. He hated the fuss about him. He's just a beautiful person. All these kids are beautiful people. But Nathan, after the grand final, we made a blue because in 2007 he was part of it and big part of it. And then we taught him nothing. I'm telling you, he kicked Darren Glass's ass when he was All Australian fullback, and he'd played 2 games or something. Nathan, and he's like outmarking him, you know, like amazing, like, and he was just an incredible player, and like pulled out one-handed marks, you know, training, kick on left foot, right foot, same. You know,
so more ability than Gary in your...
yes.
Really? That's
Imagine him,
incredible.
Mate,
Imagine him after
it's the
200
biggest
odd
loss.
games.
I was going to say it's a loss to the
It's
game.
the biggest loss to the
hearing
game.
that.
And the 2007, we should have just said to him, don't worry about turning up on the Sunday. There was like 30,000 people at the ground, and it just spooked him.
Did it really?
He went home, and he never went out of his house for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And then he quit football.
That's massive.
That's yeah. We always remember what happened to him.
Yeah,
Did
what-
you think?
It's so sad.
It is, isn't it? But he went up to Gold Coast
Monterey?
with Gary.
No, he
didn't
went to Gold Coast, yeah.
with
Yeah.
Gary. I don't
But he
think
didn't play a game,
played.
did he?
I don't think he played, but just moral support of his brother. But
He did play with Broad Beach, and he did
Yeah.
play on the list. I think he got rookied, but he didn't play senior footy, I don't think.
so is that your biggest?
Yeah.
Is that probably the best player that you've seen? That sort of, you know,
Yeah.
lost
It's a
talent?
waste.
Yeah, waste.
And I'll tell you, I used to watch the replays pretty closely, you know, and what some of the stuff he did, you know, like just little things that cut space and block people, you know, so people could come in and mark the ball. You wouldn't even know. He's just a football genius.
Far out.
See,
it's the stuff we wouldn't like.
We never
as
see
viewers,
that,
you would
yeah.
never look at it. Do you know what I mean?
I seen him one day catch the ball, do a forward somersault over someone, and then handball the ball off without looking to someone who just ran into an open goal. I'm going, how did he do this? Like, how? How?
Nathan Abel, eh?
But to hear you say he had more ability than Gary, that's huge.
Man. You know, I seen
He
a couple
did
weeks
show
ago. Oh, not about a couple of years ago. I was down Bunnings at Torquay, and I was in the store and I heard this bomber. I looked down. I said, I don't recognise this guy. You know, just someone wanted to have a say. You know, say hello. And as he walked up, I said, well, that looks a bit like Nathan Abler. Probably got a little bit less hair. You know, gone like his dad. Yeah, right. And it was short. And he said, Bomber. I said, it's Nathan. I said, Ablett? Mate, he said, how are you, Bomber? You know, you're so talkative. And he said to me, he said, I just want to thank you. He said, I've never got the chance to thank you for letting me come to the club and play that little period of time. He said, I just want to say it was the best time of my life, and I just want to thank you.
Sensational.
For what you and other people have done around the club.
That would have made your...
Oh, that made my
whole,
day.
And that whole
Next-
premiership memory even better.
Yeah.
At 007.
So have you had a reunion yet? 2007.
Yeah, we have one
reunion?
every year.
Every year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The boys catch up.
So are you a Geelong person or an Essendon person?
Both. You know, it's hard to split.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah, it is. It's,
Well, you were a legend as a player at one club and a legend as a coach at another.
Legend,
Yeah. So where do you feel more at home, Geelong or Essendon? Like in over your footballing career?
I feel like I did more for Geelong than I did for Essendon.
Okay.
That's probably fair too.
That makes more
And
sense.
Kevin Sheedy, where's he gone to? Gone to Essendon, the one he coached, not the one he played at.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
because he was a Richmond player.
It's a big effort. It's a big achievement, you know, when you bring on a team and they end up winning a premiership. It's a massive effort. And it's not just it's years of work, and it's got to be good work. You know, you can't afford to have any like real too bad. Like you've got to recruit well.
Yeah,
the ones you recruit, you've got to train well. To train them well, you got to have a lot of good staff. You know, they've all got to be happy. Then they become good. Then they get poached. You know, and you got to keep them. You know, everything. There's a lot going on when you coach.
I was going to say,
It's
imagine
not just getting out on a Saturday 2
That's
o'clock.
people management.
It's not that.
Yeah, no.
It's man management, isn't
That's
it?
right.
Those days,
Yeah, I used to get criticised because players want to know where they stood, you know. And
You had to answer that.
Hey?
You had to answer that.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
That was hard. Like sometimes you just like things are not like they're not obvious, you know. So sometimes you want to play a player, and there might be someone else injured, and you know, or this person's going to get forced out because of this person if he comes up. You know, there's lots of things that happen,
kills you.
and sometimes you don't know. Doctors are so indecisive, you know.
Yep.
They make you wait, you know. And in the end, I was probably better because in the end, I didn't want people playing injured, and I just said, "No, you're not playing."
Yeah.
Off, and then you could be certain about telling other people what they can do. Yeah, probably best.
So how did you feel in 2011 when Chris Scott took over and won a premiership with your team that you constructed?
No, I was wrapped.
You were wrapped?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went to the game with him. I had a wife then, and
did you feel like you had a big part in that?
oh yeah, of course, yeah. And the club made me feel like that too.
Oh, that's
you know?
great. I was going to say, did the club sort of acknowledge it?
Geelong is a very, very good football club.
Okay.
Like as far as looking after its people. You know?
Well, they never bottom out, do they? Look at the way they
No,
operate. Just the
we
way they
spoke about
operate.
that
Just good
earlier.
operators.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just good. They're just a good club. You know, friendly. And the moment I went into the club, the people were nice. Yeah, that's it. They're a nice football club.
They're a nice football.
Nice football club.
The football club. They might call us the handbaggers, but we've got,
yeah,
we've got rocks in our bags now.
Yep.
That's right.
So how the bags, but they're hard.
Yeah, they're hardened.
Did you like playing down at Geelong? Because we always,
as coach?
Well, no, as
Players.
as a
player.
coach.
Yeah, I thought
So because we always have a go at the.
Oh, you do? You reckon
I
there's
do.
such a big advantage? Well,
He's heard it. So he's actually
my
took
God.
it some.
He thinks it's like narrow as like his table.
It's narrow, right? Isn't it?
It's narrow, yeah.
So it's a big advantage.
We used to pride ourselves
Yeah, exactly.
right, on when the opposition started to kick the ball out of
Out of
bounds.
bounds. Oh, yeah.
That was the marker for us
Yeah.
because
Had it always.
that's the pressure factor forces teams wide.
Absolutely.
And then when the ground's not wide, they're kicking out of bounds.
Yeah.
Full.
So that's it.
So how's that?
We had 'em.
It's a great
We had 'em.
advantage.
Yeah,
and great advantage for Geelong, but. Like how I don't know, I don't find that fair for the rest of the competition. You know,
What happens when you go to Adelaide Oval?
It's fat and wide.
Same.
Yeah, that's true.
What is it, the ground or is it the crowd?
oh no.
What about
You
the
gotta be a good-
SCG?
Yeah, CG.
They're
Sure.
40
How
metre
short
lines.
is that?
They
40
fixed
metre
that, didn't
line.
How
they?
short is it?
Still short.
Yeah, all right, all right. Maybe I don't know.
That's the end of that. You got to stop on the.
It is a huge home ground advantage.
It
We
is,
loved it.
yeah.
That we
Yeah,
did have
okay.
a huge home ground advantage
That's
because
fair
it won
enough.
us a
I
lot of
thought you won
games.
us. Yeah, absolutely.
Got us in the
Oh,
finals.
Smart though. You make them
Even to
play
this
wide.
day.
You make them play wide.
Yeah.
Look what happens.
I want to talk about a player I want to ask about, and you're probably going to ask Joel Selwood.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Didn't have to teach him much either.
No, I gather you wouldn't have.
That's where the recruiting part comes in. Like if you recruit the right people, it's easy to coach them. And he was a star. He's just extraordinary person. You know, the first year he was at the club in 2007.
Yep.
He in round 5 when we got beat by North was once someone that stood up and he's just about our best player.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and he did it because he just doesn't like losing, and he is just
Game of footy.
Oh yeah, he's a really super competitive person, but fair person. You ever see him hit anyone? No,
No, not really.
No,
No,
not really.
No,
No, but
he got hit a
got
lot.
hit, yeah.
He got cut a lot.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
But just a classy person. Yeah, really.
I
Classy.
said at the start of the year, don't miss him, mate.
Don't miss him.
You
man.
did-
You
you
did
did
say
say
that
that.
too. I remember. I heard you say that.
There you go. And
Bloke
it's-
was-
He is the soul of the club. He's like
No
for a long
doubt.
time.
No question.
Such a young person. Like he was almost a leader in his first year of football.
But the record was incredible.
It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
He's an amazing footballer.
He
Back
was.
to
He's an amazing leader.
2009, he'd won 2 flags and played in 60-something games.
Yeah.
Hadn't played in 3 losses.
Yeah,
I
something
know.
like that. Yeah,
he has
it's-
the best 100-game record of any player that's
It
ever
is
played the
amazing.
game.
That's amazing.
That's mind blowing, really.
It is. Yeah.
All right, Geelong. Who's your favourite player to coach? Your favourite?
No, you can't say that.
Well, we're asking
You know
you.
what? I know.
Outside of the top 10.
I tell you who I love, right?
Yeah.
I love Kelly. I loved Enright. Like, these are what the players think I've got favourites, right? They
Oh,
always
yeah.
think
That's sort of stock standard what you thought.
Scarlett,
Yeah.
right? Enright, Kelly, Lingy, they thought, was my son. Yeah.
Yeah, the red hair.
The red hair, not red hair.
It's never really exactly. It was peroxide blonde.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Never done anything to my hair.
What were you so blonde in round 1 then in your debut game when you were 19?
I don't know.
He was in the sun.
So you see Mark Harvey when he was young?
Oh, yeah, he was blonde as
He's
that.
blonde too.
White.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're my favourites. Is there any more? Yeah, there probably is.
That's probably all of them, but
All of them.
Selwood was one, but Selwood didn't need much attention, you know. Like didn't have to. People like Enright learnt everything, right? His mum and dad come over 6 weeks after.
From SA, yeah.
From SA, and wanted to take him home because he's homesick.
Really?
And I
Right.
just begged them to give me a couple more months with him, you know, and we'll get him settled and happier. Yeah? And
And it worked.
yeah, it worked just. And he ended up being an extraordinary player. Like, my God, he was a good, easy player to coach.
What about Jimmy Bartell?
Bartell, same.
Bartell,
yeah. Jimmy said to me when they recruited him, he said, "Don't you pick me just to be the what do you call it, the lead pony for Gaza? Yeah. He said, pick me on my own merit, you know." That's what, he's 17, telling me that.
That's pretty
confident
ballsy.
kid.
That's
Oh, yeah,
ballsy.
he's confident. Oh,
Good
yeah.
on you. You
He's
know
a
what?
man. He was a man of the house. His old man left, and I think his old man used to beat his wife up And so, like, he sort of experienced all that, and he protected his mum and family was big to him.
Good on him.
He's just he's a solid person, really solid person.
And he brought it out with his footy, obviously.
Yeah, he's tough,
It's just amazing.
He's not dirty either, though. Like,
no,
never
he's
dirty.
one of the toughest. Like, how could you lose with Selwood and Bartel and Ling and these
the
guys?
problem was that he's
Mate,
B graders. I wonder why you're eating sandwiches.
Yeah. The problem is he's
Max
big.
Rook.
Max Rook. The B graders were as good enough to be A graders.
Yeah, at other clubs,
Egan
yeah.
was a gun.
Yeah.
Before he got injured,
Hunt
yeah.
was pretty good.
Mooney was a good player.
Mooney was
Yeah,
good,
Hunt, yeah.
Steve
Hunt was
Johnson,
handy.
Chapman. You haven't even talked about Chapman.
Chapman,
No, we haven't
yeah.
spoken about Chappie yet.
Chappie, yeah.
Chappie's
Some
a great
stars
player.
at Geelong.
Stevie Johnson and Chappie, they used to fight all the time at training.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They're both, like, incredibly confident people and in their own ability.
So how much ego?
Oh, massive
yeah,
egos.
you have to
Really?
do.
Oh, yeah. And they used to, at training, like, would try and train the way we played, right?
Yep.
So if we got someone in a better position where you can give them the ball easily and they can get possession and then easily kick a goal, or more easy kick a goal than you can, to give it to them, right? And so many times in training, like Chappie would say, "Why didn't you handball to me? I was in a better spot. I could have kicked the goal. It would have been an easy goal for me to kick. You had to kick around the corner."
Oh,
And
around the
Stevie
corner.
said, "No, I was confident I was going to kick it." He said, my easy's much easier than yours, you know?
Oh, God.
And then the next minute they're punching on, right, at training, right? This is how competitive they were. Like, and it happened every year, you know? And the people would say, "Oh, you want to stop it?" I said, "No, let it go. Don't matter," you know?
I agree. No, I agree, mate. Let him sort it out.
There
Very
wasn't that much
competitive.
confidence around the club during that era. To see that and know that these blokes are serious. Like
They're
these blokes
serious.
are-
They were serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were serious.
I mean, of
They were
course,
seriously
playing
good.
ASL footy,
Stevie
but-
J started that round the corner kicking for goal.
Yes, he
start?
did. He
Yeah,
started
and
that
he's
right.
still
He was
the
the
only
king of
bloke
that.
that can only execute it.
Oh, he was
Yeah, I know.
tremendous.
It annoys me no end.
I know.
No end.
The Carlton bloke.
Yeah.
Harry Mackay, yeah, he's shocking
It
at
be
it.
insane.
30 metres straight in front, and he wants to kick around the corner.
Would you, if you're in the box today, would you lose your
What would you
mind?
do?
I wouldn't let them do it if they thought they could kick it not in a straight line. Yeah.
Drop punt from
Yeah,
foot
that's
30
right.
metres.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But Stevie's different. Like
Stevie's different.
But you just sometimes some players. I don't know if you agree, but you'd know. You just got to let them do what they do, don't you?
Yeah, some people can do unbelievable things. Yeah. Stevie could do that. He could do that. He did some unbelievable things.
I used to
He's a
laugh. I
freak.
used to go, "This guy's a freak."
I don't know how he did them. Yeah. I was actually sitting at training one day and he ran past me. We'll do a match play. He's kicked the ball and I'm thinking, where's he kicking it to? No one there. Next minute, it just runs out, takes an easy mark, you know. Like,
That's it,
I
yeah.
couldn't see it. I didn't even have the ball in my hand. I wasn't running. I was just had my eyes.
Yeah.
I still couldn't see it. Yeah. So some people got that special ability, that special
one
eyes.
of them for sure.
Tell us about your feelings and thoughts on the famous toe poke.
Oh, that was a great moment. Especially
Could you see it? Could you read it? Did you
Yes.
see that panning out?
Well, you know, it's we struggled that day to play because they killed a good team, right? I said to them, like, you're going to get less kicks, we're going to kick less goals. So just on your normal, accumulation of possessions, don't feel good if you've got to get, if you normally get 30, you might get only 20 today. I said, so your expectations are going to come down with how often you get the ball. I said, if we get a chance to get the ball and give it to someone, give it to them straight away. I said, and defenders, come up the ground, as often as you can, leave your man and start being involved in the attacking bit of play. Yeah. They're getting outnumbered with attack so that we could start to share the ball and get possessions, right? And they wouldn't do it. They just stayed home. And at three-quarter time, I said, boys, we can win this. I said, but for us to win it, I said, you boys down back have to get off your man and start giving us some extra numbers up through the midfield. Who did it? Scarlett.
That toe poke.
Why was he there?
He was in the middle of the ground.
He was in the middle of the ground. He's full back. The game's tight. In the balance.
Took it on.
And he's listening to the coach.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
he just did it.
Ablett's out. Oh, he is. Johnson, can he pop it over the top? Ablett somehow has found some space. At the last minute, Zach Dawson spills it. But a clever soccer by Scarlett to Ablett from 80 metres. He drills it long to the tip of the goal square. Big flyers wanted. Varco. Handball's over. It's a snap. Ball Chapman. And Chapman's kicked the goal.
So
took it on.
So it was your premiership. It was your move.
I coached well that day.
Yeah, you did. You absolutely did.
To the coach of the 2009 Toyota AFL Premiership team, Mark Thompson of Geelong.
Unbelievable that he nearly lost his job in 2006, was nearly removed as the coach.
Bob Davis to present the 2009 Toyota AFL Premiership Cup.
Absolutely.
It's like, obviously,
Speechless.
he's only one premiership. He's a slouch.
Even went forward and then like Varco's gone, the defensive handball, and Chappie's finished it off. Jeez.
Oh, yeah. Chappie could have handballed the Bartel.
Could have.
Yeah.
Had Bartel as well.
Oh, yeah, of course he
I
did.
forgot about Varco. He was handy in his
He's a good player, Varco, yeah.
Still
He is.
running around today, playing for Yarraville.
Is he?
Yep.
He's
Yarraville in the
coaching
Western.
the Bulldogs. Yeah?
Coach of the Bulldogs, and then when
Development coach.
Yep, and then when obviously on Saturdays if the Dogs aren't playing, he's playing local footy.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I ran into him recently up at Wodonga, and we did a talk with Geelong. And he left, Wodonga drove home, and then I left about half hour later. And then as I'm driving down the road, he said, Bon, have you left? Are you on the road? I said, yeah. I said, why? I ran out of petrol. It was 12 o'clock at night. He's in the middle of the bush. And he said, I said, where are you, mate? Like, where'd you get to? He said, I'm about here. And I said, no, I haven't got that far yet. I'll be about 10, 15 minutes. So got him, had to drive him half hour to a petrol station and half hour back.
I love that.
Got him out of trouble.
Instead of emailing the coach for all his help, it's the other way around.
Oh, jeez.
So, have you got another one? Or
I was just going to say, are you still in contact with your premiership players? Like, do you contact them? Do they contact you?
Yeah, they contact and I contact. Not that often, though. No, we just sort of, they all moved on and done things, you know.
Yeah.
Moons is a good boy. He's selling real estate now and he's settled down and he gives me the call. He's the one that cares most.
Really?
Oh, he's a big, he's like
pick that.
mummy's boy, that one.
Yeah, but he's good on. He's good on.
Yeah, he's good on.
He's very
Fox
good.
Footy.
He's
Yeah.
a big
He's really
surprise, but he'd come to me and say, how you going, mate? When under a bit of pressure or something, he said, how you going? Just make sure you're okay.
That's great.
You wouldn't expect it from Big Mooney, would you?
It does come across a bit like that, a little bit.
Yeah.
No, he's good when he
sensitive,
talks. He's good when he talks. He comes across like that when he talks, I reckon.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the 23 games that you coached at Essendon. 10 wins, 12 wins, 10 losses and a draw.
Yep.
I'll let you speak about that year and how hard was it to coach?
That was a hard year.
23, was it 23 replacements?
Far
Was it
out.
23?
No, I had the team.
No, but how many all up was it that got replaced on the list? You had to bring in 23.
They hadn't been suspended then.
It wasn't, was it?
So you're still
You're
coaching
still
full side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it was
they got
James
suspended.
Heard that coached the 23.
Yeah. No, I coached because when it took place, players were charged or not charged, and then they went to some other process, and they got off, and then they got done again. So that they continued on that part. They couldn't actually do anything until it all finished.
Yep,
You know?
yep.
And that was way before Hurdy got suspended in 2014. So when he got suspended, I was ready to leave too, and I was gone. You know, really, I'd had enough of the club, and. Some players come and said, we want you to coach. Hurdy asked me to coach, take care of him, and wanted me to coach too. And I come around and did it. I always get talked into doing things, but by the sounds of it, I did this. And look, I'm happy I did it, but it took a toll on my life. It really did, and it was hard work. It was hard work working for people that you love, in the players and the support staff and everyone around you, the members, the supporters who really like the. They had a hard time too.
I can imagine.
But some of the people who were making decisions around the club, I wasn't that much in love with, and so I didn't really talk to that many people that year, apart from the players. We kept it as a group. It was a hard year, yeah. I never went to board meetings or anything.
Yeah.
One day they changed training on me. They said, we can't. You have to pull training because we've set up to go to schools, do some marketing at schools. I said, well, the training's been planned for 3 months. They don't get changed, mate. So the football club's there to win football games.
Absolutely.
And they said, no, we're not going to change it. I said, what we'll do, we'll start early. You can start early training. It's 7 o'clock. Be finished by 9 o'clock so they can still go to schools. I said, no, that's not going to happen. I said, don't do it. I said, and they did it. I never turned up training, because
oh my God,
that's the sort of situation we're
in.
Yeah. So were they that poorly run back then, Essendon?
Nah, not that poorly run, but their focus was wrong.
Yeah.
I still think it like football's your number one goal.
Absolutely.
In the club to win games of footy, win premierships. And everything else everything else needs to be done. It's got to be done around the program, and clearly, like when the marketing department are controlling
your
when
football,
you train, you're in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, you guys going to say what happened? You got?
No.
So that was the beginning of the end. When you saw that sort of stuff happening, you thought we're in a bit of trouble.
Nearly won a final. You were
I know,
6
we
goals
should
up
have
on
won.
the
Yeah, we should have won. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that
But
was
you know what?
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I said to myself, I'm just going to give the players the best experience I can give them, you know, and I'm going to give our members and that the best experience too. So that's when all the comedy started, the press conferences and all that. And, even some during the week, were fantastic. People come up and say, notice Fletcher didn't play, train, is he going to play? I said, where'd you get that news from? I said, I goes, you got good mail. I said, who do you work for? He said, The Age. Oh, my favourite paper, The Age. That was brilliant. And one time I took the press conference over to where the people were at the training. Like we used to get loads of people at training this year, like thousands of people. They'd come and watch it. I'd make the players sign autographs and just give them, an insight into, thanking them for supporting the Bombers, And one day they would give me crap in this press conference. I'm just going to go stand over here. Come over here and we'll do it over here. And they asked me this question and I said, well, what do you think of this question? They said, no, boo, boo, boo.
I love to have a collection of all that.
Oh, yeah, they were good, mate. They were good. And I brought the people into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They deserved it.
It was...
The club was hard.
Okay, you say the club was hard and you said it was the hardest coaching year. As a person, how did you did you learn a lot about yourself through that? Was it just more
I learned
about what not to do with at footy clubs or...
I learned that what I believed in was probably wrong, that football clubs were a safe haven for the people to release their sons to, because in the end they don't get treated that well.
You said that a lot. I remember you saying that a lot back.
Have repeated,
even after the fact.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that a lot.
Yeah, I remember.
I lost faith because I used to promise the parents that they'd be better people for the experience of having been at Geelong or Essendon or at this football club. Would look after your boy.
I know, and then I can understand.
And then at Geelong, I could control how boys were treated. At Essendon, I had no chance.
Far out.
Well, the club just sold them all up the river.
Yeah,
they did.
Sold everyone and the club themselves.
Yeah.
Sold their soul.
Yeah. Sold their soul. That's a good way to.
Yeah.
So do you reckon the suspension, getting kicked out of the finals, was, I won't say justified, but do you think the AFL should have done more to the people in charge, like the presidents and all that, the people that you're sort of talking about, that was controlling the club the wrong way? Do you reckon they should have had some more sanctions on those people?
And not come down on
the club
on
so
players
much?
Yeah.
Because the players were kind of pawns.
And
absolutely. They're the ones
this
that copped
bloke was a pawn too.
Yeah,
absolutely. You copped a fine. And,
I copped a fine but was allowed to coach.
Allowed to
worked.
coach.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense.
Does not make sense.
No.
And that's a good. Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah. I just think that the people that were running the club at the time were probably the ones that should have been dealt with,
Yeah.
rather than yourself.
Well, that's the normally people who do get who are responsible, aren't they? The people who are responsible.
Yeah.
Obviously, by experience.
Just the way you said that, it's so simple.
It's simple.
But yet it wasn't the case,
Yeah. And the ultimate responsibility was the AFL's, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which took none.
They took none. They just tried to just pass the blame on the players and me.
And just soft decisions like, they removed them from the final series, removed the Brownlow medalist.
Yeah, that's
soft decisions.
Yeah. And they haven't even got proof, really, that things were taken,
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the sad part.
And
what they took is all on the shelves of today's supermarkets too, so they're not that
That's
they're
right.
not that harmful. So the propaganda machine was right up there, and we were set up.
Because it was the first time it had happened and it was the biggest...
But really, even though it happened, these things should be held in camera. Until Asada worked out that we had a case to answer, but that's not the way it worked. It worked publicly, through the public.
Yeah.
And the media should have been kept right out of it. They shouldn't have known that they were having an investigation of Essendon.
Feasted on it.
And then if Essendon then realised and Asada thought that we had a case to answer, then they would announce it. But
Didn't work that
once
way.
we got, it was that press conference where they said, we've got drug cheats in there, we're guilty, and something bad had to happen. So then, what happens to big corporations is they try and control outcomes.
Yep.
And they already made a decision up on what the outcome was going to be before they interviewed one person.
So what hope did you have then? So what hope did they have? No hope.
No hope.
No hope.
Yeah,
that's in fact. There's no words to describe it. That's poor.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate people like the public just hear what the media
Correct.
says.
Right, yeah.
We
Exactly.
don't hear from yourself or Herdy, the truth or exactly what happened or how it happened.
And the players, you play this game, doesn't matter, you might think the players do it for the life and the money or whatever. They actually don't. They do it to win premierships.
That's right.
They do it because they want to be part of a premiership. And we destroyed a lot of people's dreams of playing in a premiership.
Far out.
Hard eating.
And they didn't deserve it. Mm.
And the thing is, it's not your fault, but you probably felt a little bit,
of course,
responsible when really you had nothing. You were in the same boat as them, really.
Yeah.
Well, you were the puppet.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I mean. So you felt responsible for something probably not even your fault. That's
I had the president ring me the night before and say, "Oh, look, they're thinking about charging, but they're not going to charge you now." You know?
So
the night before, and the next day I got charged.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even clear then.
No.
Oh,
I sort of told him, he was like, I'm getting charged.
For what? Yeah.
What a circus, honestly.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Then they rang me the next day and they said, you better get your lawyer. I said, I haven't got a lawyer. I said, what do I need a lawyer for?
Yeah.
And reputations of
yeah.
James Hird, Mark Thompson, who were in team of the centuries, captains, premiership
Legends.
captains,
Legends.
legends, just didn't matter.
No, and at the start of the show, we reeled off your career stats,
and
right?
accolades.
And we still can't believe you're not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's another thing we'll talk about.
And, AFL, how can this guy not be in the Hall of Fame?
No, it's true. No, absolutely.
Seriously, how
That's
can you not be in the Hall of Fame? Is it because of what happened in Essendon?
Of course.
Because there's a lot of people in the Hall of Fame that have done some, not great things.
Yeah.
They're still in the Hall of Fame. And
well, they probably not thought I wouldn't turn up, maybe. I don't know.
Would you?
Have you asked him?
Would you?
I don't know.
Hasn't been invited.
I think the longer it goes, the easier I am with it. So.
Honestly, it's weak by the AFL, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree totally. And we've said that looking at your accolades, your CV and that. How can you not be?
Yeah, how can you not be in the
Forget
Hall of
about all
Fame,
the other stuff. It's irrelevant, right? You got to be. Do you agree?
It doesn't worry me that I'm not, actually.
No, I'm sure you don't care.
But just, I know what I've done.
That's right.
Yeah.
Maybe the AFL don't know that he was most improved in 1985.
Maybe not.
I am the best club in 85.
And you were the most determined in 1986.
What an award, though. Set of awards.
You still got the trophies up on the...
I've got them, don't worry.
We'll email the AFL those
I've got
stats.
a platter.
Throw them in.
Silver platter with the most determined player.
Most determined.
Yeah. And the best club
brilliant.
man got the same thing.
That's brilliant.
And a different year.
You had to throw those awards in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I tried very hard as a footballer.
You were a Victorian state coach as well.
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Yep. The tribute.
That was good.
The tribute match,
Yeah.
2008 versus
That
the All
was good fun.
Stars.
That was actually a very good game of
I
football.
was your direct opponent. I was doing the board for Neil Danaher.
Oh, were you?
In the All Star
on the losing
game.
side.
Yeah, I was on the losing side.
Oh, were you doing the board that night?
Yeah, for the All Star, not for the
Mark
Vicks,
Williams.
but with Choco. And
Did you have how many
Danaher.
team meetings did you have? Because we had none.
4.
We had none.
That was on the Thursday.
Oh, no, we didn't have any.
He's pretty serious, Choco, isn't he?
Yeah.
A serious character.
Apparently he's at the door, like checking blokes at what time they're coming in of a night,
Yeah,
Oh,
because we
no,
stayed at the
you know.
Crown
He's in
Plaza.
bed, sleeping.
We stayed at the
Sleeping
Crown
on the-
Plaza.
Yeah.
So we all, and I said, look, I'm just part-time.
Yeah.
So I'm just there on the day, and for the team photo I was in.
Oh, yeah.
I said to Choco, I'll just come on the date. No, you're staying at the Crown Plaza. I said, I live 10 minutes down the road.
I might want to talk to you.
Yep, all staff stay at the Crown.
He's intense.
Intense is not the word. But that doesn't always work to your advantage, though.
No, not when you got groups of players from all these clubs. They want to have a rest, they want to have a week off or whatever, you know. So
Yeah,
you've got to make it a bit enjoyable for
Yeah,
them.
absolutely.
They know they can turn it on when they want to turn it on. The
Yeah.
game starts and you're playing on the best
It was
fullback.
full on that day.
Yeah, it was full on, wasn't it? It was a good game.
Huge crowd, big
Yeah.
game. And
Games went up and down,
I
innit?
reckon it was about 20 goals each.
That's right, yeah.
It was a shootout.
Ben kicked about 10, didn't he?
Yeah, I reckon you're right, yeah.
One of my favourites. Oh, I used to love watching Fev.
I love him too.
Beautiful kick of the footy.
Yeah. We both had good teams in.
They were good teams.
Who's your favourite player to watch now, today?
Yeah, that's a good one.
In 2023, who's your favourite, couple of players that you like to watch?
I don't know, really. I don't watch that much.
No, you don't watch footy as much as you used to?
I don't watch it intently, no.
No?
I watch...
Bits and pieces.
Yeah, I watch, see where teams are and that. Like, I like watching Collingwood play. I like watching... I think I got a bit of a thing for Brisbane. I think Joey Danaher, I don't know, I just think he's been harshly treated too.
Playing favourites here.
Yeah. So, and who else is playing good? Brisbane, Melbourne. I like Melbourne. Yeah, with Goody. They're a bit up and down though, aren't they? They're, but they're still very good when they're good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Talking about players in the scheme of things, where do you rate Dusty? Like, as a player?
Yeah, he's up there. He's
up there, isn't he?
I reckon there's people like don't have great records. Like, is he won best and fairest? Probably has. Yeah.
Yeah, he's won at least one. He's
Yeah.
won at least one in his Brownlow year.
But his performances in big games, when the team needs him to stand up, he stands up.
Yeah.
He just had little cameos, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like that goal in Brisbane when they played the Cats in the third quarter, was it?
Yeah, third quarter.
Ooh. They won them the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did, clearly. And that you wouldn't say, looking at his stats, he's had a great day. Like, he doesn't get that much of the ball.
Right. No, that's right. He's not
when he gets it, my God.
He's a big game player, isn't he?
He's a big game player.
Because we talked about, saying, do we rate him? We talk about our favourites and who we think. I think he's got to be up there.
Yeah,
he's all-time greats, mate.
What's Bomber Thompson doing today?
I'm sitting here talking to you.
That's exactly what I want to make sure. Just wanted to make sure.
Make sure it's you.
I put some shelves up for me dad. His garage was a bit disorganised.
Bit of a renovation there.
He's gone away, and I thought, well, he's gone away, I'll do a bit of work for him. No, I make furniture, and I'm happy doing it. I just work my own hours and do what I want. Just sold my property in Port Melbourne, getting out of the city, and going up the bush and growing some food.
Any idea what part of the bush, or just secret? Just
No, just go.
where are you heading? North, south?
I like Gisborne, Macedon, Riddles Creek area.
Yep.
Not too far away from the parents and the family.
Yep.
And just go out
What
there.
got you into the furniture? You're a Sparky by trade, so you just decided that's something.
When I stopped playing, I watched. I didn't watch much news, but I watched a lot of YouTube, and I saw what's going on in the world. And I've come across this on YouTube, this resin tables, and that's really good. You know, like that you can be quite creative with this and just make whatever you want. So I thought I'm going to do that. E-bikes was another thing that I wanted.
So you're responsible for those annoying things.
No, but I think I had a chat with the guy who's got all those contracts.
They're everywhere now.
Yeah. I thought they were going to take over, and I didn't know all the roads are going to be built especially for bikes in mind.
Them,
and the roads they couldn't make, they just took the roads off the cars.
Exactly.
So I thought that was going to be a big industry. So I was going to buy some of them, but I didn't do that until recently. There's a couple other things but the hydrogen and the bikes and the furniture making with resin was something that I did do. Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah.
So the furniture thing, does that I know you'll obviously like doing it. It relaxes you, like when you're
working with wood does something for men. I think
Right.
it's like a man cave.
Right.
I get a lot of friends come up there and we chat. And
Deckings? Deckings?
What's
deckings? Do you do deckings or just
No. Just make tables. I make some shelving.
Okay.
I make boards. Carry the food on. The girls carry the food. Not girls. People carry the food on. And
2023 Bomber.
Yeah, I know. So I do all timber products, and it's all recycled timber.
Oh, nice.
And I do chopping blocks. Butcher blocks.
Yep.
The end grain ones, the hard ones to make. They're good. Yeah, they're good quality. I make good stuff.
Excellent.
It's awesome.
I'm pretty bad at social media and advertising and that.
Do you want to give it a plug?
No.
It's open.
I don't want to.
Don't. No.
No.
I don't like the phone that much. I don't love the phone that much. I don't like the phone.
Well, that concludes our fascinating interview with an AFL legend. We hope you enjoyed this as much as we did, Bomber. Thank you, and you're an absolute star.
Thank you, boys. I've enjoyed it. It's been a long time since I've had a bit of fun talking about football.
Absolutely. Enjoy it with the players. Thompson, congratulations, a fantastic performance by the team.
Oh yeah, sensational effort, and just right from the word go, the first bounce, I think we were really focused in and wanted to win the game that badly that the boys went out and did it.
What about the injuries? Coming into the final series, you had about 5 injury problems, and you lost that first final against Carlton. It didn't look too good from there. You had a hard road home from there, but the boys certainly lifted. It's really, you had so much strength in that side and depth that came through, Bomber.
Yeah, I think that the injuries did come at a bad time, but when you get injuries, sometimes they can have a double action and freshen players up. And I the last 2 weeks my leg's been pretty good. So and Harvey, there's nothing wrong with Harvey today. So we've had unlucky to get the injuries, but lucky sort of to come back okay from them. So it's just been a great day for us.
Yeah, terrific. Congratulations, a great performance. Enjoy the evening.
Good on you, Bernie.
Thanks,
I will.
mate.
Don't worry.
Good on you, mate.
Celebrate.
Yeah.